Somebody check YouTube. This is bull. It doesn't play. Oh.
Can you hear me, Manatazach?
I'm unmuting the mic. Are we live? Are we live? 4 minutes. What's going on? We got brothers in here already. Can y'all hear me? Shalom, Brother Durak. Shalom, Elijah. Shalom, C. Woods. Brother Robert. Shalom, family. Shalom. We're getting ready to get started in a couple minutes.
How do I say it? How do I start it? You caught me off guard and you're modest. A pale skin like Beryl, I think she from my tribe, I'm on it. Hope I see her at the study this morning. I could possibly get the name, get to know her soul, and possibly get the way. She get to know me too and see I'm a different man. Hands delicate as ever as she flip a page. Guess I noticed the little things, but what really gets me is watching her follow scripture. And I picture both of us on the mission to get the ticket to the kingdom. My intention is pure enough for incision in your mind without blemish and leading you other ways. She cleaned up, I'd be damn if I give her stains. These other women ain't got it, she got it made. None of us perfect, but notice we got it made. If she fall, I baseball slide and cushion the pain. Meaning we pray to a Marvin his name and he leading the way. So much to gain, but there's so little time we can waste. I'm defining your grace. Break some curses in your heart just to find me your place. We gon' strive for the kingdom, together we'll stay and celebrate with the Lord when winning the race. You want a head that can lead, I know it's the case. She got the zeal in her faith, I see it all in her face.
Cause I hear rap poppin', dress rockin', mother's little mama. But you don't even walk, you be glad and keep a job in the Bible.
You need a strong king standing by you.
Royalty at his finest, got some water and some porter, I'm providing. Some put an order in and I'm plotting.
Your mind see a lot,
But you silent in my eyes, you were diamond. Thought I would never find you, but I did. You royalty at his finest, you royalty.
Man, on the Sabbath, I was like, Aqua, you looking gorgeous, or in your age, I couldn't ignore you. See, I'm not trying to force you, just wanna take you out on some culture. Your modesty ties normal. Jigga say it's too formal. See, he'll try to conform you to this world, but you're girded with your sword and fringed out garments. But you ain't nervous and better yet, you ain't worried, cause there is no rest. When you walking through the valley of the shadow of death, I hear you sing all the songs from Psalms to keep you calm. You stay in prayer, so I see why you keep your head wrap on. Not on your game face, cause you stay in order and shame face. You don't do it for yourself before the fact that your name's snake. But you an Israelite, it's like it's life. The burden is light, the light is bright. So you got a guide, that's right. Don't fight the light, the sun wasn't the first sign of light. You seen the breakdown, the first sign of light. Like breathe, wait, stop, hold up. Favor is deceitful and beauty is vain. But a woman that fears the Lord, she'll be praised. So all the works and what she does is for personal gain. Strength, honor, personal thing. I can see you not intrigued by a personal change. Verse in the name, Deuteronomy 28. I can't help it that I notice every personal thing.
Cause I hear rap poppin', dress rockin', mother's little mama. But you don't even walk, you be glad and keep a job in the Bible.
You need a strong king standing by you.
Royalty at his finest, got some water and some porter, I'm providing. Some put an order in and I'm riding.
Your mind see a lot,
But you silent in my eyes, you were diamond. Thought I would never find you, but I did. You royalty at his finest, you royalty as I hear rap poppin', dress rockin', mother's little mama. But you don't even walk, you be glad and keep a job in the Bible.
you need a strong king standing by you.
Royalty at his finest, got some water and some porter, I'm providing. Some put an order in and I'm riding.
Your mind see a lot,
But you silent in my eyes, you were diamond. Thought I would never find you, but I did. Royalty at his finest, you royalty at his.
For real.
Shalom, family.
Shalom is real. It's another Thursday night. It's TNT. Manatazach is back with my brother Aharan
Hey,
and
it's
my
good to have you.
Adawan Yakum Yah.
Shalom, man.
Shalom.
Hey, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shabbat.
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbat.
Hey, all praise to the Most High, man. We back for another week. We got Manatazach back, man. I'm glad to have you back, brother. We got the newest,
good to be back.
the newest Adawan in the camp. Adawan Yakum Yah. Shalom.
Shalom. Looking like a real Israelite, boy. He got to look down, right?
Hey, that gray look good on you, brother. That's
That's
silver.
right.
That look good on you. Hey, shalom to all you brothers and sisters. Brother Shaquat, I seen Brother Malachiah, Brother Araya, Brother C. Woods, King Ashar, Jonathan, Brother Judah. Shalom to all of y'all. I don't know if I missed anybody. M.A. Pranks, shalom. They said Issachar checking in. Shalom, Issachar. Shalom to all of y'all brothers and sisters who Brother Brandon, Zephaniah. Shalom to all of y'all who decide to spend y'all Thursday evenings with us, man, getting into some current events and the scriptures and just, taking some time out to praise the Most High.
Right.
God.
It was 8 o'clock. Without further ado, if you ready, Manatazach.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start this up. It's been a tumultuous week. Heck, it's been tumultuous 2 or 3 months. And needless to say, there's a lot going on in the news, and we had to condense a lot of this information, a lot of these videos, because it's a plethora of things that are going on. So we're going to start off with the new normal, which is COVID-19. What they're saying, cases surpasses 2 million in the U.S. with new hotspots emerging. We got a video that I'm see here. Let me gonna stop this one and restart. Share the screen here. Chrome.
Shalom, family. Yeah, Conch. Shalom, family. Hey, hit the like button if you can, brothers and sisters. We want to continue to be able to push this word out to y'all, get this information out to y'all.
All right.
The water, Jonathan, for reminding us.
All right. So let's kick off this first video. Hey, you see that Sons of Thunder riot camp on that I saw on it?
Yeah.
Shows it right there. I'm gonna go ahead and play this video.
The number of confirmed U.S. coronavirus cases has officially topped 2 million, the highest number in the world by far. But public health officials say the true number of infections is certain to be many times greater. Officially, the U.S. death toll is nearing 113,000, and at least 12 states are reporting an increase in COVID-19 hospitalizations. In Arizona, which lifted its stay-at-home order May 15th, more than 3/4 of the state's intensive care units are filled amidst a spike in COVID-19 patients. Public health officials are urging new social distancing measures and warning the governor to immediately prepare field hospitals to handle a coming flood of new patients. Meanwhile, the White House Coronavirus Task Force has not held a daily press briefing in over a month, even though about 800 to 1,000 U.S. residents are dying of COVID-19 each day.
Wow.
And that's deep right there. 800,000 COVID-19 patients are dying each day. Hey, you know what that tells me? That it's not over yet. We think it's over because we see all these protests. We see people in the streets deep. They coming together. They're partying. They're at the swimming pool, at the beaches. But it's not over yet. Be careful. Take care of yourselves.
That's right. And the crazy thing about it is they're opening back up and they're getting all of these new incidents and new cases of COVID-19. I mean, like, what was the purpose of shutting down in the first place if they're just going to let COVID-19 run rampant all over again? That's redundant.
Oh, it's always a conspiracy with them. It's always a conspiracy with Esau. I mean, we could go to the injections that's coming, the vaccinations that's coming. There's so many different reasons. The money that they were losing, people going out, unemployment that they still not really totally paying out. There's so many different things.
God.
Give me a second here. I'm pulling up this next video here. This is hold
on, Slakia. I don't know. You want to say something?
Oh yeah.
God. Yeah, I don't know if you all know, but a lot of the states are divided up by party. You know, they're going party line. Democrats trying to maintain the strict restrictions. The Republican parties right now is trying to open everything up for a number of reasons, due to money, you know, like you said, income, the economic situation. Also, they trying to just get it out there, just put it out there where the pandemic is going to reach most of us, because they're putting it all out on Earth right now. So you want to, like Aharan said, you want to be careful in maintaining your safety while you are out here in this pandemic.
Fine. That's very important. I mean, because I know right now, we're still wearing masks out. We're hand sanitizer. You're just gonna have to be able to protect yourself. But the interesting thing about the whole thing is Atlanta, Georgia opened up first, but they're not getting any new cases. Alabama, Louisiana, those states aren't on the list of new rise in COVID-19 right now. It's it seems like it's more so West Coast and Southwest states that are getting hit real hard. I think in like the northeastern states are getting hit real hard with new COVID cases.
So like,
oh, go ahead.
Yeah, here in North Carolina, they talking about going back to phase 1.
Phase 1. Right back to lockdown.
Because our cases are shooting up. They're going out the roof now.
Wow. That's it doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand. Like just 2 weeks ago, you couldn't go to a funeral. And now, everybody's at George Floyd's funeral. Hey man, is there an epidemic going on in the country or what? Like everybody just all of a sudden forgot when the protest started that we were under a pandemic. And now just magically disappeared, or it's magically okay to be outside again?
It's Shalakia. You know, it was real funny too. They was really pushing the agenda hard that the COVID-19 was mostly affecting us. You know, our brothers and sisters at a higher rate than anybody else. I mean,
that's an interesting fact.
That's interesting. We out there too. We out there. I mean, us as a people, we're out there amongst them. I don't know, Manatazach. Where you want to go to?
The color of coronavirus, the COVID-19 deaths by race and ethnicity in the U.S. We got an article that breaks down the numbers to a T. The beginning part of this article, it says that the novel coronavirus has claimed about 112,000 American lives through June 9th, according to official report statistics. We know the race and ethnicity for 93% of these deaths. The latest data reveals continued deep disparities by race, most dramatically for Black and Indigenous Americans. Our ongoing color of coronavirus project monitors where the burden of this virus falls equitably upon certain communities, Slovakia, to guide policy and community responses to these disproportionate COVID-19 deaths. And we're going to scroll down here, and this is going to give us key findings of aggregated death rates from COVID-19 across all states in the District of Columbia have reached new highs for all groups. So the first statistic here is that it says 1 in 1,625 Black Americans have died, or 61.6 deaths per 100,000. With Indigenous Americans, the number is 1 in 2,775, or 36 deaths per 100,000. You move into the Latino community, it says 1 in 3,550 Latino Americans have died, or that's like 28.2 deaths per 100,000. And then you move down to the Asian community, and that's at 1 in 3,800. And as also white Americans, same number. Basically 26.2, 26.3 deaths per 100,000. So if you look at the Black Americans, there's 61 people, the 61, we're dying over like maybe what?
61 per 100,000.
61.6 deaths per 100,000.
I mean, the numbers, and we all have to keep into consideration that these are Esau numbers, you know. Now, because I know at the beginning you were saying, do you know anybody that died? I know brothers and sisters whose families have died. You know, we have brothers in the camp who's lost loved ones. You know what I'm saying? So we're not going to say that Corona is just a total cover up, because I know what you're saying. What's that? Yaya Quinn? Salaki, if I'm saying your name wrong. Yoya Quinn. I understand what you're saying, brother. And part of the Corona is used as a cover up, but at the same time, there are people who are dying, you know, from this COVID-19. And from Esau's numbers, we're more susceptible to death dealing with this. But at the same time, I really can't never trust Esau's numbers.
You know? Never trust our enemy.
They could be pushing an agenda.
That's right. All things will be revealed. We can move on with these numbers, because we can move on to the next page. I got another article right here, and we're going to move on to the unemployment. That's so much for the coronavirus. Let's talk about this unemployment. And the first thing is, the last numbers that I saw was like 40 million people unemployed. I don't have the actual statistic, but I do want to bring up this article right here when it's talking about a major error in May jobs report made the official unemployment rate look 3% lower than it is. So based upon the actual numbers, they were reporting the unemployment rate very low. And that's Esau. I mean, like, their numbers are shady even with the coronavirus.
Shalaki, if I'm not mistaken, they had said that the numbers was 13% last, but the numbers is actually closer to, or a little bit over 16%.
16%. That's right.
You know, and
that's in a nutshell.
Go ahead, Adam.
No, you go ahead.
I thought Adam Yakim wanted to say something.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying that you know, it was the next little thing we had, it was, I don't know, B2B. It was a sister who had asked, who she was doing an interview with the president recently. And she was asking some questions about the unemployment rate, because he was touting, you know, he was prideful, and he was happy that the numbers had dropped down so low from where they were. But at the same time, she asked, what about the African American communities and their unemployment numbers? Because their numbers are still high. Do you got that, Manatazach?
Con, I'm pulling it up right now as we speak. I'm just hoping that I'm trying. There it goes. There it goes. All right. So Trump demeans a female Black reporter as she challenges him on Black unemployment. Let's take a watch. As soon as it finished buffering. I'm on a new computer today, so it's running a little slow. Maybe if I close some of these tabs out, it'll help it out. I closed one of my videos out. No worries, I can get back.
Shalom, JM. Shalom. Al-Bar, Shalom. So you lost my there's a lot of brothers and sisters losing their jobs right now. You know,
boy.
In the medical field is actually losing their jobs right now. They're getting laid off, and they're taking a lot of that money that they get from the government. They taking that money and paying their CEOs. You know, It never stops. The rich keep getting richer, man, and we at the bottom of the barrel, or are usually the last hired and first fired. You know, that's usually the case with our people. Yeah, you know, they got that CARES Act, so a lot of that tax money is coming into going into these companies too, and they're getting that money from the government and then firing people. You know what I mean? You paying your taxes for years, and they giving it to companies to stay afloat. But if you're a small business owner, you're not getting the same amount of money. We talked about that a few weeks ago.
There's businesses that's not getting no money. Those jobs won't come back.
You ready?
Can y'all hear this video? I'm gonna restart it. Here, let's roll it. There's no audio coming through?
Nope.
All right, we're gonna have to reboot that stream and we're gonna have to redo it. All right. Man, this thing keeps showing up. Go away. All right.
Hey, stay strong, y'all. If you're dealing with situations like that, stay strong, man. Keep praying to the Most High, man. He'll deliver you. He'll have you right.
That's right. Hey, this is Jacob's trouble, y'all. If anybody knows, this is Jacob's trouble. It's not going. No time ever is going to be like this, or has been like this. We need to stay strong. We need to keep the faith and stay in these laws because deliverance is near. I'm going to go ahead and play this video of this Donald Trump being messy.
We also smashed expectations on the unemployment rate. The prediction was that the unemployment rate would rise to over 20%, and instead it dropped to around a little more than 13%, slight difference. And this time, the greatest comeback in American history.
Black unemployment went up by 0.1%. Asian American unemployment went up by 0.5%. How is that a victory?
You are something.
How is that a victory?
Thank you very much.
You say you are something. Yo, why wouldn't he deal with the sister? Why would he deal with the sister's question? You know, I never seen a more proud person in my life, man. Like if y'all knew Trump from before, I don't know. I'm from New York, and we've been dealing with Trump for years. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure other people have too. But if you ever known Trump before, nobody really was checking for him like that. Yeah, he had money. Everybody knew he was a rich person. But then when you really get down to it, he had went bankrupt. You know what I mean? He spent a lot of money. You know, blue money. So why is he so cocky and so prideful?
You know, Esau in him.
Esau for you.
That's exactly what it is, man. It's Esau for you, man.
It's that Esau in them. You can't. It's no explanation. It's a spiritual thing, man. It's just in them to be that way. Evil is evil. And hey, we didn't bring up the articles, but look, they're trying to stop. They're trying to rename the military bases and take away the Confederate names from them. He has no plans on removing any names, but Congress has already gone and voted to remove and have the bases renamed. Now, I don't know what he can do in regards to that, but they've already made the decision as of the day. I just saw that on the news. Esau, man.
Hey, preset book of Shalom,
Shalom. Shalom, Adawan. That's Adawan Ma'akaya.
How you doing?
Hey, Hey man, staying in the spirit, man. Trying to move in the spirit. We were just talking about Esau and Trump being prideful, man. Trump is a proud bastard, man. And Salakia for my terms, but I get frustrated when I hear him speak. Proverbs 16:8 says, "Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall." Man, see that pride? That's how you know they're going to be destroyed.
That's right.
Babylon in general, not just Trump. Babylon in general is facing this destruction coming forward.
That's right.
You see how this world is, man. Everything that we're going through, you got the nerve to still be prideful. You don't want to deal with our situation. You don't even want to deal with people crying and sighing and crying, even though you know what they're doing is off in a lot of different ways, and we're going to talk about that later on. But you don't even want to deal with people's feelings and emotions. I mean, aren't they still, in all reality, aren't they still citizens of this nation? I guess not. We know our heritage. We know who we are. But at the same time, we still got to pay taxes. That makes us a citizen, right? We born here. We got a social security card. We got a driver's license. You know, but the only person he caters to is his own people.
Right.
Man, that pride, man.
Oh, it's strong in him. He is strong with it. Just like he kicked those protesters out in front of the from in front of the White House so he can go take a picture with that Bible. That was wicked.
Wicked.
Yeah, kind of wicked.
Hey, hold up. You just tear gas and had your police beat everybody off the street, and then you go take a picture with the Bible in front of a church. Nobody cares for that.
Like,
Hey, I think the Seattle mayor told him to go back to his bunker and shut up.
hey, so like that devil, he looked at his Bible like this. He did like this. He like kind of inspected it and said, and held it up, knowing he don't know a scripture in this Bible.
Not one.
It pisses me off.
Hey, Ottawa, they got a meme. They got a meme where somebody's mocking him, and they asking him, "What's your favorite scripture?" He's like, "Oh, I like all of them. You know, I like every scripture." He act like he literally never read the Bible before. I don't think he didn't pull no scriptures.
He hadn't.
Hey, Shalaki.
In it. Go ahead, Ottawa.
Shalaki. Hey, yeah, hey, how your beard get so?
Yo, I said the same thing. I said the same thing earlier.
Come on.
No fighting. Hey, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, I remember Trump when he was campaigning, he had said something about 2 Corinthians, but he didn't say 2 Corinthians. He said, "I love the 2 Corinthians." I was like, what?
Wow.
It's like this dude is whack. Then he inspected his Bible. I don't see how anybody could listen to this clown. I can't listen to him. I don't watch him. I don't get the news. I don't do none of that. And I need to, but I don't because he makes me sick.
Hey, he makes the world sick, and that's real. No, I think, and it looks like in the news, you'll see that all the senators, all the Republican senators, hey, they're distancing themselves from him.
A lot of them are. I've seen that.
We're gonna move forward, y'all. Because we can talk about Donald Trump all day long. This would last all night. But let's move on to the protests. And we're gonna go ahead and share this. All right, now in the midst of the pandemic, it says in the midst of the deadliest pandemic in modern history, people are protesting all over the world. Let's take a watch. France. New Zealand. Thousands of people on the streets. You got people in Ireland, Denmark, Germany.
It does appear this is where they have intended to continue the demonstration. All massing there now, several hundreds, no social distancing, as I say. London's still under lockdown for events like this.
Amsterdam, wow. You got people in Australia screaming Black Lives Matter.
That's all over the world, man. Hey, it was a lot of Edomites up in the mix up in there too. What was perceived as being Edomites. You know, but hey, I watched this thing the other day, and it's just been sitting on my spirit for a while now. It was the video, and a brother was talking about these protests, and he said the Most High showed to him was that what they really are prayers. You know what I'm saying? Because when you come together like that, you sending prayers up. You know what I'm saying? But who are you praying to? Because they're not asking the Most High. I ain't see nothing about God or any kind of anything involved in those signs and things. What does it say? We was at camp. What does it say? Aharan, Kaya, can we all just get along? Or Jesus loves everybody, or things like that. But they're not praying. They're not praying to the Most High. They're praying to the government. They're asking the government for help. That's their gods. These Edomites are their gods.
Shalaki. Hey, that's a huge problem with our people. But it goes back. Okay, it goes way back. You know, when that's why the scripture said that the Most High is gonna have his foot on our neck. Okay, meaning that Esau is gonna have us locked in yoke and collar until we're destroyed. So once they knew that they can manipulate us and tell us anything and we'll believe it, that's when they took the collar off our neck. So all of these civil rights activists, you know what I mean, still to this day, they got us believing that we should be equal, okay, when in fact we are kings and rulers. We were meant to be priests and kings in this earth, but we got this this mindset of equality, and it's got us all bugged out.
Khan, Salaki. Well, that's the one thing I wanted to talk about tonight, is that the protests, I feel like, are in the wrong place. It's the wrong type of protest based on real world situations and based on the scriptures. What we should be protesting is Yahweh Ba'Shem and Yahweh Shai pushing that doctrine to all these people. All the ones that's out there protesting, they're not even dealing with the scriptures. Like Aharan said, they want to break in a Gucci store and go get Gucci. Aharan said, once the protesting start, they want to tear down the buildings and go in and rob. But then what we need to do is focus on the true protest that we should be doing, and the Israelite community is doing that protest by being out in the highways and byways, the street corners, pushing this word. Because that's the only way we're going to receive our salvation, is that we all come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments.
This brother just said, they praying to the government. I saw that. It do remind me of the Ark situation too. We sitting here like Noah, sighing and crying, telling people that the rain is coming, man. But you want to keep doing your thing. You want to keep doing what you feel is best. You know what I'm saying? But when that rain comes, man.
Do we want to share this with this letter when Donald Trump called the protesters terrorists, or we're going to jump on over to the NFL?
Yeah, I want to jump to the NFL if we can.
All right, con. So, hey, this a touchy subject for me, so I'm going to try to be nice about it. But hey, they bringing back sports to put y'all back to sleep, man.
That's right.
Everybody gonna forget about COVID-19. They're gonna forget about, you know, all the people that have died by police brutality. They're gonna get them some Budweiser beer and some chicken wings, and it's Monday Night Football again. Hey,
Shalakia. Adawan Mayakaya is the Amalek hunter. That's what I'm talking about.
That's right.
You should have told Adawan Yakub.
I like that. I like that. Amalek hunter.
Manatazach is the heathen slayer. I'm trying to do everything I can to wake y'all up, man.
That's right. All right, so let's hear what Roger Goodell has to say. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear this video.
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell is now admitting that the league was wrong for not listening to players. They took a knee to promote social justice here in the United States, and he's now formally apologizing. Listen to this.
Hold up. Before we get into that, they're now apologizing 4 years later after the fact that Colin Kaepernick lost his job. They wouldn't hire him back. They blackballed him, as they would say. But now, all of a sudden, Black Lives Matter. So if Black Lives Matter, give Colin Kaepernick a job. Get his job back. With loss in pay is retroactive back to when they kicked him out of the NFL. Give him all his money. And then I'm making my own campaign, Colin Kaepernick for Nobel Peace Prize. He deserves it. Because everybody's, they've been, here you go, let's go. Pull this up. I'm going to rewind this real quick. Hold on. Right there.
Listen to this.
It has been a difficult time for our country, in particular, Black people in our country. First, my condolences to the families of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and all the families who have endured police brutality. We, the National Football League, condemn racism and the systematic oppression of Black people. We, the National Football League, admit we were wrong for not listening to NFL players earlier and encourage all to speak out and peacefully protest. We, the National Football League, believe Black Lives Matter. I personally protest with you and want to be part of the much needed change in this country. Without Black players, there would be no National Football League. And the protests around the country are emblematic of the centuries of silence, inequality, and oppression of Black players, coaches, fans, and staff. We are listening. I am listening. And I will be reaching out to players who have raised their voices and others on how we can improve and go forward for a better and more united NFL family.
Shalakia, man. Man, I don't want to hear that. I mean, I'm not the video, but I don't want to hear this from this cracker, man. Listen, you have opportunity to work with
man, my man dropped off.
Of Black activists in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Hold on,
noticeable tension over
we lost Yakim Yah.
Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, I was just gonna ask if I can bring a precept out, because that devil,
of course,
he sounded good. It briefed well, right? That's why people to this day, you know what I mean, are holding hands together, okay, looking like fools out there, you know what I mean, holding hands with the enemy. Hey, but Psalms 55 and 21, okay, Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but
That's
war
right.
was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Okay, so they're talking a sweet game to you. They're doing all this talk of possible reparations. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about holding the police officer accountable and all this good stuff, man. But hey, bottom line, hey, they're ready for you to turn your back and drop your guard so they can shoot you right in the back. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
They got no
That's
remorse for our people. No remorse.
That's right. Perfect precept for that situation, man. That's exactly what his words were, smoother than butter. He trying to pacify you so you can come back to the NFL. What he doesn't want is you to start boycotting the NFL for their actions over the last few years. That's what he doesn't want.
That's
He
right.
don't want you to start stop buying those jerseys. You know what I'm saying? That's what he doesn't want. You spending
Hey,
money
without
on
black players, there's no NFL league.
There
Period.
ain't. Shalaki, I always felt that the NFL was like a slave type of mentality anyway. They don't give you guaranteed contracts. This is a sport where you put your whole body and your life on the line. You can end up as an old man with all types of messed up situations. You know what I'm saying? Just off of a couple of years in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have to play your whole career.
I'm even playing the NFL and I'm walking with injuries.
You know what I'm saying? Just imagine all the stuff, all the hits you had to take from a youth on up until you got into college or whatever, or high school. And they will discard you on notice, not going to a guaranteed contract. They give you guaranteed money, a certain amount, but they're not going to guarantee your years of that contract. So at any time they can just let you go. And every owner is an Edomite.
And speaking of owners, where are they at?
Where are they at?
I haven't seen not one owner step up and say Black Lives Matter. And if y'all go back and sit here and sit down in front of that TV and start watching NFL, man, come on.
Hey.
Y'all been doing 3 months without sports.
Like it.
They're going to jump right back on. Go, Aharan.
Yeah, I jumped off because my internet messed up, but I'm back now. But did y'all talk about Roger Goodell and what he did?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now.
Okay, come on. So wanted you to bring that out right there.
Yeah,
it's ironic.
Go ahead, Aharan.
It's actually ironic that the NFL protested Colin Kaepernick and his move and all the players' move to take a knee for just this very situation that went on, and we see an actual police officer take a knee on a man's neck and commit murder, and nobody's saying nothing about it.
Mm-hmm. You're worried about that bottom line. I got a precept that is a precept for what I don't want Maya brought out because I think it still fits the concept. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 26 and verse 24. He that hateth dissembleth with his lips, and layeth up deceit within him. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. There's all type of plots and schemes in his heart, man. When he's speaking like that, don't believe that. Don't believe this dude.
Can't believe him, man. Never trust thine enemy. They are enemy. NFL's owned by Amalek.
That's right.
We already know what they're about. But we're gonna move on to Drew Brees. Let's see what the nation and the people thought about Drew Brees after he made his statement. I'm gonna play that video here.
Everyone is looking back now at Kaepernick's protests from a few years ago, and obviously they were always about police brutality, and now it's coming back to the fore, and a lot of people expect that we will see players kneeling again if and when the NFL season starts. I'm curious how you think the NFL will and should respond to that, and of course, you're such a leader in the league. What is your responsibility as a leader in times like this for the rest of your teammates and players in the league?
Well, I will never agree with anybody disrespecting the flag of the United States of America or our country. Let me just tell you what I see or what I feel when the national anthem is played and when I look at the flag of the United States. I envision my two grandfathers who fought for this country during World War II, one in the Army and one in the Marine Corps, both risking their lives to protect our country and to try to make our country and this world a better place. So every time I stand with my hand over my heart, looking at that flag and singing the national anthem, that's what I think about. And in many cases, it brings me to tears, thinking about all that has been sacrificed, not just those.
Look, I'm going to stop it right there. He said that's what I think about. He think about his grandfather fighting for this country. But you know what we think about? We think about the rape, rob, and murder of the indigenous people of this country.
That's
I
right.
think about the rape, rob, and murder of my ancestors.
That's right.
I think about the rape, rob, and murder and how they use that flag, that our ancestors' blood is all over that flag.
That's right. That's right. Bring that out.
And they keep using this word systemic racism. Hey, there's police officers out here continuously brutalizing Black people, and they're bringing out the numbers. And the numbers don't lie. Numbers can't lie. In Black communities where the Black people are disproportionately lower in the community, talking about 19%, but they have a 63% arrest rate. What does that mean? That means that they're targeting these poor neighborhoods. They just arrested a little boy for jaywalking on the street, but guess what? There's no sidewalk. Come on, man. They're doing, and hey, in the midst of all this protesting, what's going on right now, police are still brutalizing people, shooting people. And he sit here thinking about his grandfather, but he's not thinking about what Colin Kaepernick said. I am taking the knee because of the injustice that's done to my people. This ain't nothing to do with the flag. In all actuality, I remember the story. Colin Kaepernick actually asked the soldier, what's the best way to represent and show my solidarity to the military? That the man told him to take the knee. So that's where that came from. It wasn't in disrespect to the flag, it's into the disrespect that they do to our people in this country over and over and over and over again.
It's a lot.
I get.
Actually, that soldier that told him to do it was telling him to kneel in respect of the flag and the fallen soldiers. He said that would be the best way to show your respect, because that's what Army personnel do in those times.
That's right.
They take a knee, and it's just injustice all the way around. I got a precept dealing with this, so put everybody on track to what's going on in this world. This is Genesis 27. I'm gonna start at verse 38 and read to 41. It says, and this is back in Esau and Jacob, when Esau got his blessing. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice, and he wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. Now, here's the in particular I want y'all to pay attention to. Verse 40. And by thy sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Now, we've been experiencing this for decades. Ever since this time right here. Esau spirit is lurking in this earth, and it passes from generation to generation to generation. This is what we're witnessing right now. All the protesting, and this is why I say the protesting, we're doing the wrong protest, because we're not going back to what the Most High said, following his laws, statutes, and commandments. So therefore, we got, like the Aharan said, we got Esau's foot in our neck. He kicking our back in, rape, robbing, and murder. It's all in the scriptures. So if we want to remedy this and we want to get some justice, how about let's get Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shah on our side.
That's right.
Right. That's right.
And command. Esau is going to rule by the sword. His weaponry, he takes pride in that. He takes pride in that, and he masters the weapons, the atomic bomb, the machine guns, all types of weaponry. He's in control. And I'm gonna tell you something about the spirit of Esau. It says it in the book of Genesis. He was good at the hunt. He was good at the hunt. So you know what happens when we're out here in these streets? These police officers, guess what they doing? They on the hunt. And it's no more than to hunt you down and make you a trophy.
That's right.
Precept. I know, and you hit it. I gotta bring it out. I know you're going for it too. Aharan. The Book of Lamentations, chapter 4, in verse start at verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. They hunt steps that we go, we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagles of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains, they laid wait for us in the wilderness. Hey, just like what you just said, they hunt in our steps, man. They are a hunter. That's one of the skill sets.
Fine. And the New York Police Department, they had an interview just recently, and they have a quota to fill. They have to have arrest quota. And if they weren't meeting that arrest quota, they would send police officers to low-income neighborhoods and hunt for that arrest.
That's right.
They would arrest the African Americans in the communities, the Latinos, that stop and frisk, just handing out felonies.
Hey, what is ICE doing right now? They hunting our Northern Kingdom brothers. ICE is hunting them. It's even through everything. I want to say something about that dude Drew Brees though. That a brother brought it out, and we didn't touch on it. Don't act like our forefathers ain't fight on every American war.
That's right.
Our people has been here since America was named America.
Exactly.
Even before, and we fought in every American war. So we can't have any kind of stance on brutality towards us. We can't have any kind of anything. We can't say anything that you might perceive as disrespecting your flag, because in all reality, this is your flag. It's not our flag. Even though we died for our country, we fought in the Revolutionary War. We fought in the Civil War. We fought in World War I, World War II, the Spanish-American War. Every war that you've had, you've got stories of so-called black people fighting valiantly for this country.
This country, yes.
For the Civil War,
for that same flag.
The Civil War, y'all was getting smashed until we jumped up until we got up in there and started fighting.
Right. Shalaki.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Shalaki, I wanna add the point that the brother Aharan just brought out.
Shalaki, you got some background noise going on, Aharan. You got anything open?
Let me throw on his head.
You ain't got a phone on, do you?
Let me throw these headphones on. Can y'all hear me better now?
Oh, perfect.
All right, Con. Hey, but hey, to add on to the point that the brother was bringing out that Esau, they were getting their ass whooped, okay, in those wars until we jumped in there. You know what I mean? Get Ezekiel 35:5. Okay. Ezekiel 35:5. It reads, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had end. Okay. You got to understand what that word perpetual means. Perpetual is never ending. Okay. So you got these Christians out here, okay, and you got some other religions, okay. These people, they want to give Esau and a lot of these other nations a pass. You know what I mean? They want to give them a pass. Hey, not all white people are bad, but you don't understand when you stand side by side, these damn devils, they see your greatness. Okay, they see that you're better than them. All right, they see it every damn day. Okay, so they're literally jealous of that point. Okay, regardless if they know, who the kings and princes of this earth are. They're jealous and they have a perpetual hatred. Okay, it's never ending. All right, Amalek. That's why I can't stand damn Amalek. That's why I chose the title I chose tonight. Because that joker pretty much controls so much of this earth. He lived the elite of Amalek, hands down. Okay, the fact that we are the true children of Israel, they hand that down. Okay, and it's and that's a part of that crafty council. That's the reason why we're binded. Those jokers, they run the hip hop industry, they run the Hollywood. They own all the damn banks. You know what I mean? They own the diamond merchants. Okay, and all this good stuff. Okay. And this is the reason why your laws are changed. Your Saturdays are filled with a lot of folly. Okay. The Sabbath day, I should say, is filled with a lot of folly. It's due to that joker having a perpetual hatred and creating this crafty council. Okay. But it's going to turn on that ass, real soon. It's going to turn. All right. But I'm yielding. Hey, is it, you hear static?
Yeah, you have a echo.
I understood you though.
Yeah, you came through clear, but you still got an echo.
I'm mute. I'm mute.
All right, so let's go in and let's look at some of this police brutality and see why Colin Kaepernick was taking that knee. Lock you. Give me a second here. Let me get it right. There we go. And play. Oh, I have no audio. Wait a minute. Did you see? Oh, this is the brother that got shot with the rubber bullet in the eye, right?
Yeah,
for some reason, I'm not having audio on this. Let me see it again.
Appreciate everybody.
There you go.
There you go.
His Brandon eye removed a zipper of staples across his head where surgeons removed blood clots and installed a drain tube to help keep those clots from happening again.
I just want my justice.
Justice, he says, for what happened Saturday afternoon as he walked near the downtown Dallas library, approaching this line of police near City Hall. He says he got within about 15 feet.
And then all of a sudden, all I heard was a boom, and I got hit.
Protesters nearby rushed to help, trying to stop the extensive bleeding.
Look at this,
but
man.
By the time he got to the hospital, his eye could not be saved.
Thank God he's alive. Thank God he's alive. But nobody's come forward and say, hey, look, let's hold this officer accountable.
Attorneys for the family say they're still trying to determine exactly what type of projectile hit Brandon in the face. Officers in photos from the scene that day are holding yellow rifles. They fire a 40-millimeter sponge round meant to repel someone but not maim them.
The witnesses have identified that it was individuals with the Dallas Police Department.
But right now, we need to know who the officer is. We need the help of the community. We need someone to speak out.
That cop in that line, he know who he is. He just don't want to come out and say it.
When we first told you about the incident earlier this week, DPD responded saying they were investigating at least 2 use of force incidents. And as our interview today drew to a close, DPD detectives arrived to interview Brandon and his attorneys.
So if they're going to make these statements that what happened in Minnesota was swift justice, then we need this to happen right here in Dallas.
A search for answers on what also happens to be Brandon's 26th birthday. In Dallas, I'm Kevin Reese.
Hey, you seen that brother face, man? Hey, they say he knocked out like 7 of his teeth. You know what I'm saying? Fluid, it hit his eye so hard, it knocked out half of the teeth in his mouth. You gotta bring I don't want back.
You want support?
Hold on, man.
Join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar you give to us supports our daily digital show. Only one daily digital show out here.
Still playing.
That keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going.
Yeah. Hey, but that brother got shot, and man, that looked horrible. Did you see that? Y'all?
Bad.
Hey, man, that was bad, man. That was bad, man. And that's just what we see. Yo, the Most High, I really feel like the Most High gave us this internet. He gave us these cameras. He allowing us to see these things happening and unfolding. We need this technology now that the Most High done given us, because back in the days with our forefathers, you know what I'm saying, who was in slavery, we didn't have the cameras or the pictures to see what they was doing.
You know? You didn't have any news except for word of mouth.
Except for you might get a postcard that one might send to another with a piece of strange fruit hanging from a tree. You know what I'm saying? And a whole bunch of Edomites surrounding them.
All right.
That's real. Salakia. Next time I come to camp, I'm gonna bring a book. I got a book with all those pictures in it, all those postcards. To show Israel the atrocities our forefathers and foremothers have been going through all this time. And that brings me to this precept out of Deuteronomy, the curses, Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and 25, it says, Yahweh should cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. So as we can see, there's a reason why all of this is happening. And like I said before, we'll go out and protest these protests, but is it the right thing that we should be protesting? Of course, we're mad on the surface. I'm mad on the surface. I'm pissed off on the surface. But there's a reason why it's happening like this. And it goes back to what the Most High said to our forefathers, and we still perpetuate the same thing to this day here in 2020. And it reads 28:1, Deuteronomy 28:1. It says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations. So we see that we're not set above all nations right now. We've been at the bottom all this time.
Right.
Why is that? Why is that? It's because we hadn't hearkened to diligently to do his commandments or do his will.
Stiff-necked people.
We got to wake up, Israel. We got to wake up. And there's a parable. Once we get through with the video, there's a parable I want to go over dealing with the sower. Because one thing we got to identify, where is our mindset? Where is our heart? Where is our mindset? And there's four soils. 4 soils that represent every Israelite, all the 12 tribes, that we got to fall up under. And we're gonna get to that. But I yield right now. Go ahead and finish up the video.
Water for that. I don't want
I can't wait for your lesson. I can't wait for your lesson. No,
Hey,
you on fire right now. I can't wait. I know you're going to
yeah, I was like, should we just go ahead and cut class? Hold on real quick. Let's get this next video, y'all. I mean, hey, ain't nothing that I'm about to show is pretty, so just get ready. If you got your children watching,
be prepared, y'all.
be prepared. Yes, this is Leslie Furcon. She got shot also. She's in a coma. This is her son pleading for her on her behalf.
Bad person. All my
Can y'all
mom's
hear
trying
that?
to do is live life, be right, live injustice. My little brother just died. My family it's just like, and the way he died was the police had something to do with it. So it's just like, my mom is upset. She's frustrated. So she has the right to come out here and protest. My mom is a good person. She was brutally attacked on a peaceful protest. If I commit a crime, I'm going to jail. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Whoever that was needs to be stand and held accountable for it. That's attempted murder. My mom was shot between the eyes. 59 years old. Protest. She don't have a right to protest. And even if she don't, it don't stand for her to be attempted murdered or whatever may have happened. It's not right. We need some answers. We want some justice.
That officer needs to be fired now. We need to know who he is, and he needs to go. La Mesa Police Department, La Mesa City Council, everybody needs to know we are ready, we are coming, and we are not going to stop. She looks like my mom. My mom. No more. No more. We are going to get justice.
It's not tolerated. If I commit a crime, as I said, I will go to jail. We all know this. We need some answers. We want some answers, and we're not going to stop until we get some answers. Bottom line.
Hey, that could be any one of our moms, man. That could be any one of our sisters or our aunts or our grandmothers. You know? And listen, I'm not for the protest, but we understand that we are angry over the treatment of our people. You know what I'm saying? So I understand why a sister like that would go out and protest, not knowing who she is. You know what I'm saying? Who she should be protesting to, who she should be sighing and crying to. I understand it. But do you see the result of their intolerance? You know what I'm saying? You see the result of their disregard for our women, for our senior women. You know what I'm saying? For our men, our young men. I got precept, Deuteronomy 28 and 50. 50. A nation of fierce conscience, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. Man, that's what they do, man. And that's who they are. They don't regard our mothers and our sisters and our children. They don't regard our people who we love and care for. They don't regard you for your own daggone skin color or your economic status. I yield, man. It just gets me angry.
Salaki.
Hey, Salakia.
Go ahead, Adawan.
Hey, I got a precept to back up the brother. Sirach 28 and 7. Okay. Because what the brother's saying is true. You know, sometimes us as Israelites, we tend to get, we tend to get a bit proud, okay, in this truth. We know we're trying to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our abilities. But when it comes to our brothers and sisters, okay, we tend to forget that was once us. Okay. Sirach 28 and 7, it says, remember the commandments and bear no malice to thy neighbor. Remember the covenant of the highest and wink at ignorance. Okay. You got to remember that was once you. You got to have some empathy, okay, and walk in their shoes and understand that they're not in the truth and they don't understand this thing the way we do, okay? So we got to be that light, okay, that shines to the nations. That's a good precept to Acts 17 and 30. The Most High winks at our ignorance, okay? But once we come into knowledge of the truth, there's no more sacrifice of sin, okay? So we got to make sure that we're dealing with our people, the right way, and we're being that shining light. Hey, I'm yielding the floor.
Water. This video that I have queued up right here, this is David Smith, and he was also suffocated by a police officer in Minneapolis back in 2010, and his family was awarded $3 million. Hey y'all, this video is not easy. but we're gonna play it anyway. Why is that necessary?
I mean, instead of the knee, use the forearm.
Nope.
He's over his whole body.
Doing the job. I'm still trying to figure out. I can't hear you certain places. All right.
I mean, no other cop.
Brother ain't even moving.
All right. Nobody else want to say nothing?
You got one of the on? Yeah. Left?
Jesus. Holy God, holy God, holy God, holy God, holy God. My Lord, my Lord, my Lord. My Lord, my Lord, my Lord, my Lord.
The doctor doing chest compressions in the background. She said there's no pulse.
Come on, Greg.
And this brother died too, right? Man.
They're trying to resuscitate him right now, but it ain't happening.
Are now over. Please wish your friends and family members a good night. Have a good evening and drive home safely.
And those cases for sex thank you.
Nah, you can stop that, bro. That's just
police officer murdered that man, man.
Yeah, they murdered that man. Hey, we bring this out, and there's a lot of scriptures that I got on this page right here that we bring out because of these type of situations. But the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1, it says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands." So because they're power tripping, man, destruction to these people who power tripping and thinking that we are nothing and they can just kill us at will, that they can do something, like a choke a brother out and put a knee on a brother's neck. Man, destruction to these people. The Most High gonna deal with them. I can't wait. We was talking about Esau being a hunter, but we're also going to be hunters.
That's right. Bring that out.
I can't wait for that day.
That's right.
That's in Isaiah 16. I think if I'm not mistaken, is it or Jeremiah 16?
Hey, they know because they made 2 movies called Hunters. They put one on. One came out in the movie theater. Then they put one on Prime Video. 2 movies called Hunters. So they know what's going on. They're not ignorant to what's going on. So we're gonna go back to this Minneapolis real quick because this is just an article. This is not even a video right here. But I want to share this article about the Minneapolis Police Department. It says a history of fatal police encounters in Minneapolis, 11 cases since 2010. And y'all just watched one of them on video. They got the names of the brothers that have died from the Minneapolis Police Department. David Smith, that's the brother we just watched. Terrence Franklin. 3 years later, Minneapolis police shot and killed Terrence Franklin. The incident happened on May 10th in 2013. Officers were chasing Franklin in South Minneapolis when police say he got out of his car and broke into a nearby basement. Jamar Clark. Officers shot Clark during a physical confrontation during which they say Clark attempted to grab one of their guns. That's the common excuse. His family won a $200,000 settlement. And the settlement was just a fraction of the $20 million settlement the city of Minneapolis paid out to the family of Justine Rusek Damond. And Justine Damond.
Hey, Shalakia though. This is the second time you talk about a settlement. Are these people, because the brother asked or sister asked in the chat, are these people being charged?
No.
Because if they're not, it seems to me, a gift is destroying the heart in these type of situations. You're going to give me a settlement for my son or my daughter or my mom's life? You know what I'm saying? You're going to give me some money? You're going to give me some money that's worthless? I'm going to go to the club and pop some bottles? What am I going to do with that? Well, I'm going to pay my bills and I got to pay to you, Esau. I got to pay my taxes and buy water from you. I got to spend the money with you that you're going to give me. I got to go to the gas, get gas. I got to pay you. You don't own no gas companies. You know, I mean, my bad. Shlocky, y'all. It's very frustrating. Go ahead, Manatazach.
Yeah, it is frustrating. But continuing on real quick, this Justin Damond, she called 911 to report a sexual assault in her neighborhood. When officers arrived, she ran out to the squad car to meet them. And according to court records, that's when former Minneapolis officer Muhammad Noor reached across his partner and shot Rasik. Thurman Blevins. It says about a year later in 2018, Minneapolis police officers received a 911 call about a man who was walking down the street while firing a 9mm handgun into the air. Officers confronted Thurman, but police say he took off running down the street. During the chase, 2 officers shot and killed him. Both officers were later cleared of any wrongdoing because he had a gun in his hand. That's what they say. And then there's another brother named Travis Jordan. That was just a few months later, in November. Minneapolis police were asked to perform a welfare check on Travis. A woman had called and said Jordan was acting strangely and might be suicidal. When officers arrived at his home, they say Jordan refused to come out. However, several minutes later, he came out of the front door with a knife and confronted the officers. The officers fired their weapons and Jordan fell to the ground. Officers performed CPR on Jordan until the ambulance arrived, but Jordan later died at the hospital. So yeah, they hunting us. They hunt us in our streets. They hunt us in our neighborhoods. They hunt us in our homes. They have no line. They cross any line they want. And then there's no repercussions. They go scot-free.
Hey, Shalakia, brother just brought this out, Zechariah 11:5, whose possessors slaving and hold themselves not guilty. I just want the beginning of that verse right there, man. And that's what's been happening. They're literally our possessors, man.
Khan, hey, Shalakia, it's a righteous thing, okay? You know, when we look out and we see, brothers like, Brother Manatazach, Brother Aharan, you can see the hurt, okay? And you can see the pain, and the brothers is tired, just like, a lot of the nation. John 12 and 25, John 12 and 25, he that loveth his life shall lose it. And he that hateth his life in this word shall keep it until life eternal. So, if you're trying to get equality in this kingdom, okay, and you think you're going to be happy, all right, and you're going to live the American dream or whatever the case may be, hey, you need to give it together, okay? We're going to suffer tribulation until the end, okay? So we're gonna hate it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna hate this life. Okay. And if you hate it, all right, then that shows that oppression is making you mad, but you just can't accept that gift like the brother brought out. Don't let that gift destroy your heart.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I had one more video, but it looks like they've removed that video because I clicking the link and it is not coming back up. That's crazy.
The last one that you had?
The last video, yes, that was like the most important video. They killed that video, man. That's crazy.
What about the other one? About them, the dude that got killed in Tacoma, Washington.
Yeah, I could bring that up because I skipped over it. I could bring that out. Dang, man, they definitely killed the video. It is gone.
Really?
Wow. Yes.
That's crazy.
It is gone. It is no longer on the internet. It's gone. And there's no sense in looking for it no more. It's not even there. All right, so let me click this link over here. God, that's so disappointing. I mean, I'm looking at the link. It says, hold up. I'm looking at it. When I click it, it's gone. Wow. It is definitely gone. Give me a select. So we're going to go to Manuel Ellis. He was beaten by police. Hold up.
Oh, dang.
Let me pull that. Man, that's disappointing that they killed that video. Too much truth. Too much truth. Hold on, Salaki. I got to share the audio. There we go. All right. And let me move it over here. So,
I mean, yo, he's so wicked bad. All these
racial justice group called the Tacoma Action Collective released that new cell phone video. It was taken by someone who was driving by as Ellis was being confronted by police. Now, you are about to see two separate videos, and on parts of those videos, we have zoomed in so that you can get a better look at what's happening. And we just want to warn you that this video is disturbing.
Oh.
Hey! Stop! Oh my God! Stop hitting him! Just arrest him! Just arrest him! Oh my God, that looks so scary!
Oh, he getting the beat down.
Put your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
That's all.
Now, again, that video was just released, appearing to show police aggressively restraining Ellis, punching him multiple times, and also asking him to put his hands behind his back while it appears that an officer is on top of him. We did reach out to the Tacoma Action Collective for comment. They gave me timestamps of the video showing that it was taken on March 3rd at 11:22 p.m., right as this was happening. I also sent the video to Tacoma Police, and we are still waiting for a response from them. The mayor, however, just released a statement about all of this, saying, quote, "I join with Governor Jay Inslee in vowing that we are determined to have a full, complete, and independent investigation into the death of Manuel Ellis. Nothing less is acceptable, and I plan to discuss this further on Friday with the city council." The Pierce County Sheriff's Department is investigating all of this. I just got off the phone with the public information officer at the department just a moment before we came on air.
Hey, Slakia, this dude ended up dead. Nobody knew nothing about what happened. It just so happened that a female happened to turn her camera on and started recording the dude getting beat by police. He just wound up dead. As far as I know, they didn't really have an actual cause as of yet of how he died, because this just happened like a couple days ago, I don't even know if it was last week. No, they still didn't have an exact cause. The last time I searched of his death, it never even came out that they beat him like that. Or they had to rough him up. He was resisting arrest or whatever they might have called it. Because that's the first thing they do. They say he resisted arrest. And I don't even think they said that. He just ended up dead. You know, you get pulled over by the police. You know, you go out for a beer or for some dinner for the family, and your family never see you again. They never get to hold you again. You never get to hold your son again, man.
Y'all fell up. Okay. I got that video. I pulled it up.
Okay.
Happy. All right. So we're gonna go off with this last video, y'all. And this, I mean, I know we showed y'all a lot of kind of sad news today, but I was watching these videos and I saw this young sister come across and she spoke something very interesting, and I want all of you all to take a listen. Some of you all may have seen this video, but just check this out real quick. And the people that's in the chat, y'all can give y'all opinion on what's going on. I'm glad Kai just made it back. I'm about to share this out. Facts or not?
2 weeks ago, you were unable to have a funeral. If your mom, if your dad, if your grandma died, they couldn't have a funeral. And if you did try to have a funeral, you could have been arrested. You fast forward 2 weeks later, you turn on the television, and there's a giant funeral, a giant memorial for George Floyd. Celebrities and politicians all there. The same people for the past couple months who were telling you if you were to go into a group of people, you could have died because of COVID-19. And here they sit at this giant funeral. A funeral in which George Floyd probably only knew 1/3 of the people actually there. A funeral in which became political. Al Sharpton was up there saying, we're going to take the White House. George Floyd's funeral became political. 2 to 3 days after that man was murdered, they told you to go vote. A week after that man was murdered, first day of primaries. And what did you do? You went out and voted. Blue, 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 just like the script told you to. Hashtag vote, 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 all over Instagram, all over Twitter. Everybody, vote, 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 vote. Why? Have you asked yourself why? What is voting going to do? We had a Black president and this still happened. You think voting is going to solve racism? You're being used. You think they broadcasted George Floyd's funeral all to America because they wanted to show what a great person George Floyd was? Or do you think they broadcasted George Floyd's funeral because they wanted you to watch? So you would get angry, you would get sad, you would get mad, you would get frustrated, and you would go vote.
Hey, I don't know if that's angry and mad to go vote. I don't think that's my response. But of course, I know the scriptures. Well, I'm in the scriptures. I don't know by heart, but I'm in the scriptures, and the scriptures say we shouldn't be voting.
Deuteronomy 17:15, bring it out.
I'm on my way there right now.
I got it up. I got it up. I'll read it.
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 17:15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. So, yeah, I had an argument with this brother the other night talking about we need to vote and that Black Israelites are teaching people not to vote. Amen. The Bible tells us not to set the stranger above us. He is not our brother.
That's right.
And that's why we're in the situation that we're in right now, because we're trying to be inclusive with these people.
Man, listen.
I'm going to be nice. And they're ruling, they have rulership over us. So if we're getting killed in the street, guess what? They don't care. They have rulership over you. There's no repercussions of their rulership. There's no repercussions of their actions. They can kill us in the street with impunity every single day. And you can go out and vote every single day, and it ain't going to change a thing. You can go march in the cities and you can go march in the streets, and it ain't gonna change a thing, because their hate for you is going to remain. And how you stop somebody from hating you? Oh, you think that you stepping out in the streets convinces them to love you? You over there holding up picket signs saying Black Lives Matter. You think that them people gonna automatically say, "Oh, you know what? Oh, my heart is open to Black people now. I love them. I'm going to stop beating them in the streets anymore. I'm not going to beat them anymore because I think that their lives matter too." Come on, man.
I'm going to choose you
They
over
took crafty counsel against thy people. They were confederate against thee, and they still are.
That's right.
I yield.
83, Psalms 83. Salakia. And we watched all of the videos, and everybody's upset. Everybody's feeling the anger. Some people are sad. Some people are hurt. And everybody's asking why? Why is no justice? Why did we can't charge them? So I asked that question to everybody on the call right now. What is it that we can do to rectify all of this? That's the question that everybody should have. What is it that we can do to rectify all of this? And the question to be answered is simply right here in this book. Now, a lot of people don't understand something about their makeup and their mentality and how they perceive this word of God. Where Yahushua gave a parable to actually, which is the key. This is the key. Israel, take this. This parable is the key and the underlying factor for us to look in the mirror and determine what is it that we're going to do. It's the parable of the sower. I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 13. Matthew chapter 13. And for those who on the live, on the chat, you can also look this up in Luke chapter 8 and Mark chapter 4. The parable of the sower. It's a very important parable. And I want Israel to take a moment to take a look at this parable and gain an understanding of where you at. And once you understand it, and all of us are into this truth, what are we going to do with it? And we're gonna find out through this parable, through Yahushua. I'm gonna start off at verse 1. It says, "The same day went Yahushua out of the house and sat by the seaside. A great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside." Now, what I want to point out in this lesson right here, there's a sower, and he went to go sow some seeds. A sower and a seed, the seed that he's going to sow. We got to figure out what the sower, who the sower is, and what the seed is. It says, "Some fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up." Jump over to Matthew 13, verse 18 and 19. It says, "Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which received seed by the wayside." So this is Israelite number one. The Israelite who's standing by watching the brothers bring this word out, listen to this truth, and they hear the word, they catch it. But as the word says right here in verse 19, and when anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one. Your lack of understanding will cause the wicked one to come and snatch that word from you. When it's snatched from you, a lot of us that went through this, or a lot of the ones that's not in this truth, that is stand out on the corners and the highways and byways and listen to this truth, they hear it, but because they don't understand it, Satan comes and takes it away from them. That's Israelite number one. Let's look at Israelite number 2. Verse 5. Some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched. And because they had no root, they withered away. Stony places. The seed is being thrown in stony places. What does that represent? Can you plant a garden with a lot of stones in the dirt? You can't do it.
Teach.
Because if you try to do it, if you try to plant seeds in a stony place, the roots of the seed can't take hold, nor the plant will get nourished. This is the same thing with us hearing this word. A lot of us got stones in our heart. A lot of those people that's out protesting, they have stones in their heart. They're not thinking right. They got other cares and concerns on their mind. Therefore, this word can't take root. See, I'm breaking down the underlying cause of why Israel is being subjugated to all of this brutality, who's at the lowest state, the first fired, the last hired. All of this is a result of this parable right here. And we're going to go through it, and we're going to give the remedy on how we can get the kingdom, how we can come up above and get ahead. Go over to Matthew 13:20. It says, but he that receiveth the seed into stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it, yet he hath not root in himself, but dureth for a while. For when tribulations or persecution arises because of the word, by and by he is offended. Now we know Israelites that came into this truth and they idle by, and when that persecution came, whether it was from their family, whether it was from their friends, whether it's from any other person or Esau, they withered away because that persecution was too great for them. This is what Yahushua is pointing out. These people had the stones in their heart, the persecutions and everything that's in place.
Shalakia.
Go ahead.
I got a precept there. I got a
Go ahead.
precept. Hey, I visit this scripture all the time. Hey, with my rib. Hey, go to Galatians 4:16. Hey, Galatians 4:16. As what the brother's saying is true. Okay, a lot of people can't handle this. The Most High said, I'm going to make the words of your mouth fire, and these people wood. All right, Galatians 4:16 says, am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Okay, you know, they can't handle it. They see it right there in black and white. It's written right there in the Bible, the book of the law, statutes, and commandments, and they still can't take it. They'd rather do evil, okay, than to do the good. You know, Khan, I'm yielding. Go ahead.
Khan, turn to Zechariah 7. Zechariah 7 and 12. This sums it up pretty much. in a nutshell. Zechariah 7 and 12. I'm gonna read 7 and 12 and 13. Zechariah 7, 12 and 13. It says, yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law and the words which the Lord of hosts have sent in his spirit by form of prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the Lord of hosts. Therefore it has come to pass that as he cried and they would not hear, so they cried and I would not hear, saith the Lord of hosts. Now, as these protests go on, we hearing the cry of our people. But because we're not listening to this word and we're not coming to the Yahweh Shai and Yahweh and following these laws, statutes, commandments, guess what? His ears is closing up to our cries. Therefore, we're going to remain in this state. So if we want to come out of this state, we're going to have to do what the Most High says. Go to Deuteronomy 4 and 6. Let's find out what that is. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 4 through 6. I'll start at verse 1. It says, Now therefore, hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and to the judgments, which I teach you for to do them, that ye may live. And go and possess the land which the Lord thy God of your fathers have given you. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you. Listen good, Israel. Jump down to verse 4. But ye that did cleave unto the Lord your God are alive, every one of you, this day. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Now I got to ask you, anybody calling us wise and understanding right now? They treating us less than. In fact, they treat animals better than what they treat us. Didn't Michael Vick get convicted for pit bull fighting?
That's right.
Good time.
They treat the animals better than us. We got to look at this. Now, if we follow what the Most High said and we did this, verse 7 explains it all. It sums it up. It says, for what nation is there so great who hath a God so high unto them as the Lord our God is in all things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great that has statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? This is what the nations would say about us. If we follow these law, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead.
The brothers in the chat want you to repeat the chapter and verse for them.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 1 through 6. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 1 through 6. So we ask the question, why? Why are we going through this? Why are we constantly getting killed year after year? I can remember when Rodney King, he got the beat down by 4 officers in front of the cameras. That was my first incident seeing it that I can remember actually seeing it take place. Then we got the cell phones. Now we're seeing it constantly. Philando Castile, his girlfriend lived that thing, lived his murder, and we watched it on Facebook. This is what we're asking why. Well, I'm telling you why. This is this parable that we need to pay attention to. Yahushua is explaining the 4 types of Israelites that deal with hearing his word. And we need to pay attention to this. I'm going to go back to Matthew chapter 13 and finish it up. Verse 6. Or excuse me, Salaki. We're going to go to verse 7. It says, and some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. So when you're talking about the thorns, let's deal with that. Look at Matthew 13 and 21. Let's see what it's talking about. Verse 22, Salaki. He also that received the seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. Now, how many of us deal with that? How many of us got in our minds so much that we got to make this money, we got to do this and do that? We care about this world. We care about our standing amongst the nations, like these protesters are doing. And they have on the base level, on the surface level, the protests, they're angry. I understand that because I'm angry. But how do we correct and rectify this situation? We got to go deeper, and this is what we're getting in this word and through this parable. These cares of the world, we have to really let them go and let Yahushua, Yahweh, deal with us. And they're dealing with us through these laws, statutes, and commandments.
Precept.
Go ahead.
The book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 19. They that fear the Lord are a sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed.
Khan. Excellent precept. See, when we don't follow this law and we're not doing what we're supposed to do, Deuteronomy 28 explains that. I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 28 and 15 and show you what the Most High said. And this is a forever thing. This is not going to go away until we come back to these laws, statutes, commandments, and do what we're supposed to do.
That's right.
Deuteronomy 28:15, it says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And we sitting the question, why are we going through this? This is the reason why. Because we're not hearkening unto the laws, statutes, and commandments and following the Most High's way. We've gone off and we've accepted our assimilation into this country. That's what's causing this downfall. Because if we follow these laws and come back to the Most High, guess what he's going to do? He's going to bless us and raise us up above all nations. His word can't come back void.
That's right. Never will.
Now check out, that's Israelite number 3. That's Israelite number 3. Let's look at Israelite number 4. Back in Matthew chapter 13, verse 8. It says, but other fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. And Yahushua said, who hath ears to hear, let him hear. So the good ground, that's the Israelite, the fourth Israelite, where that soil, his mindset is ready to receive that word. And when that word goes in, he's going to nurture it. He's going to build upon it. He's going to let the roots go deep down inside. Once the roots get deep down inside, now he's going to grow as a plant. And guess what he's going to do? He's going to produce that fruit. Some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. It doesn't matter how big your camp is. As we just saw, you could have 100 members. You can have 1,000 members. But as long as you're producing that fruit, then guess what? You are the seed in which Aharan was talking about. You're that good seed. And all of Israel, all 12 tribes, they have to adhere to this.
Hey, Slaki, I don't want.
Go ahead.
Hey, this brother King Ashar brought out this precept, and I think it's a pretty good precept, goes with your lesson. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 29. It says, "Is not my word like a fire, saith the Lord, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces?"
Khan, excellent precept. Khan, who hath ears to hear, let him hear.
That's right.
Don't let it go over your head. How many times we're out at camp, people will be standing in the back. They hear the word, they stop and listen to it, but then they keep moving. They let it go in, and Satan comes and snatch it away. Or they got something going on in the inside that prevents them from taking root of this word. Then you have other ones, they're so concerned with the cares of this world that the word gets choked out. We experience that all the time. But now, those of us who are on this chat and on this call, we have accepted that word. And accepting that word, we're trying to do the commandments to the best of our abilities. We're letting the word germinate. This call, Thursday Night Thunder, Milk Mondays, the Friday night call, camp, hashtag come to camp on Saturdays.
Patreon.
Driving from miles away to come to camp.
That's right. Bring it out.
You standing there putting in the work. You're trying to build your fruit. You're trying to build it. Some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30. This is the answer to all of these questions that we have in the midst of our turmoil, in the midst of Jacob's trouble. We have to come together, Israel. We have to come together to acknowledge our heritage and understand that this Bible is our book. It's our heritage. We got to accept that. You got to accept that you're a Hebrew Israelite. Not only do you have to accept it, now you got to perform it. You have to perform it, and you have to do what thus says the Lord.
That's right.
Look at verse, go to Mark 4, 18 and 19, or slack it. Go to Matthew 13 and 23. It says, "But he that receives seed into good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit, and bringeth forth some 100-fold, some 60-fold, and some 30. So now that's the fourth Israelite. That's the fourth Israelite from all 12 tribes. From Judah, Benjamin, Levi, the Negroes, the West Indies, the Haitians, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, the Dominicans, Guatemalans, the Puerto Ricans, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, the Cubans, North American Indians, the Seminole Indians, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar, the Argentinian Chileans, the Colombians, and the so-called Mexicans. These are all so-called. Once we come together and come back to these laws, statutes, commandments, and we become that good, fertile ground to where we can accept God's laws, statutes, and commandments and do them, then we come out of this oppression. We come out of this killing, senseless killing, and we become a great nation, lifted above all nations. That's what Yahweh promised. He promised that. Romans 9 tells you that the adoption, the glory, the promises all pertain to the Israelites, not all these other nations. So what we got to do as we're sitting on this call and listening to it, and on the chat, instead of being the keyboard operators, go out and help bring this word to everybody.
Bring that out.
Go out and bring this word to everybody and stop being fearful. Stop being wavering. You got to be true to this thing.
That's
and
right.
we all at some point have fallen. But what does the scripture tell us to do? To get right back up and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it moving. Y'all got any precepts?
Hey, Shalaka, Thawada, brother DMC for your donation. Thawada, brother.
Thawada DMC.
Hey, Shalaka, y'all got a precept there.
Go ahead.
Hey, this is the book of Sirach. The book of Sirach, chapter 6, starting at verse 19. Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits. For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with her. She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from her ear it belong. For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many.
Khan, break that down.
Hey, Khan, hey, just like the brother's bringing out. Hey, he's bringing out that the word of the Most High, okay, is the wisdom and knowledge understanding. Okay, this is our breath of life. This is how we live. Okay, and if you're not taking heed to this, and if you don't have ears to hear and eyes to see, hey, you're gonna be stubborn. Okay, it's simple and plain. Okay, you want to walk past, you don't want to hear this word. You'd rather, live your best life, okay, and reap the benefits of this wicked ass kingdom, But hey, you got to understand that salvation and the kingdom of New Jerusalem is gonna be light years beyond this kingdom. Okay? And hey, the wait's gonna be worth it. Okay. The wait is gonna. I yield, brother.
The water for that. Go ahead.
Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, read from verse 5. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. For wisdom is a loving spirit, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For God a witness of his reins, and a true beholder of his heart, and a hearer of his tongue. See that Holy Spirit and that wisdom, man, it's that law, statutes, and commandments. And it's not going to reside with you. You're not going to be able to be planted in that good soil, man. If your soil is not good, if you still got that stony heart, like we was talking about earlier, if you don't have that Holy Spirit, that it's not going to turn that soil for you. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be pure. It's not going to allow your growth. You know what I'm saying? You subject to have stones sitting up in there, like we read in Jeremiah. That fire, you know what I'm saying, breaks that stone. You know what I'm saying? Man, without understanding, what does it say? Job 28:28. Without fleeing from evil, without fleeing from your old works, you know what I'm saying? You won't have understanding. You know what I'm saying? You'll still be stuck in the same position if you don't stop doing what you're doing.
The water.
Salaki, I got a precept.
Go ahead.
All right, Zechariah 8:13.
Bring it out.
And it says, and it shall come to pass that as ye were accursed among the heathen, O house of Judah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong. Right now, we're going through that time. We're going through turmoil. Our brothers and sisters are being killed in the street, shot with rubber bullets, real bullets, being choked out. That's the curse.
God.
He told us to fear not.
That's right. That's right. Now, the one thing I want everybody on the chat to understand is this. Once you become that fourth Israelite, which is the good ground, and you let that word penetrate into you, now you start to transition and you become the seed, the good seed. Go to chapter 13, Matthew 13 and 24. Let's look and see what that looks like. And it reads, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, and notice how he put it right after the parable of the sower. He says, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which soweth good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. Now, see, if you take a look at this scripture here, you would understand that the sower has sown good seed. Now, the seed is growing in the fields. But guess what? The enemy comes in and sneaks in and he sows those tares. I look at this as these churches around here, these Christianity. We're going right with them. We right there with them daily. But guess what they bringing in? That false doctrine. They leading our people astray. They taking them off course. They putting these thoughts in their mind so that they can't be that good soil. They bring about the stony ground. They bring about the thorns, because a lot of our people seem to care about a lot of things that these Christianity seem to bring. So we got to come out of that, Israel. We got to come out.
I got a precept for that.
Go ahead with your precept.
The book of Sirach, chapter 39, verse 24. As his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked. For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners.
Con. Write that down.
So the ways of the Most High, are holy, are set apart for those who he has chosen from the beginning. But they are stumbling blocks into the wicked. If the Most High didn't have this word for you, they will become stumbling blocks for you.
Con. And doing Hamashiach Yahushua, to further your point, that's what was going on with the Pharisees and the scribes and the Sadducees. They had the stones in their heart. They couldn't even see Yahushua. And in not seeing Yahushua, Yahushua became a stumbling stone for them. That's for Judah. Understand? Look at verse 37 to match up with verse 24. It says, he answered and said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. That's Yahushua. The field is the world. See, the field is the world now. The good seed are the children of the kingdom. That's the good seed. See, the transition is made from hearing the word as the seed. Now you become the seed. Now you're growing and you're becoming the seed to produce other fruit. So the sower, the Son of Man, he's going to put out that good seed. And those of us who follow these laws, statutes, commandments to the best of our ability, that's what we're attaining to be, that good seed. That good seed. But he said in verse 25, but while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. Verse 26, but when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So as we're pushing this word out in the highways and byways, guess what? We all still have TD Jakes or TD Snakes, Creflo Make a Dollar, Joel Osteen, the soft-spoken one, Esau at his best, and all these other ones that's out here teaching. And now, guess what? A multitude of our people are in these congregations, and they're being led astray. The wheat and the tares are starting to grow together. So what's going to happen to that? What's going to happen with the wheat and the tares? Let's find out. So the servants of the house, verse 27. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? Of course he sowed good seed in the field. From whence then hath it tares? He said, where did that come from? He said unto them, an enemy has done this. An enemy has done this. All night long, we've been talking about our enemies. Whether it's through political system, whether it's through law enforcement, whether it's through these bodies that's teaching this false doctrine. Even some of us become enemies because we got hardness in our heart. We got stones in our heart. We fall off.
Hey, that's right.
So you got to be careful, Israel. You got to be careful, and you got to be applying this word to your life daily. Look at Sirach chapter 10, verse 19. Sirach chapter 10, verse 19. And it reads, they that fear the Lord are a sure seed. You understand that? They that fear the Lord are a sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. You know what you just said, Aharan? A plant. An honorable plant. Now let's look at the opposite. It says, they that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed. See, they're dishonorable. They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed. How many of us came from the churches that said the law, statutes, commandments are done away with? I know I did. I was in the Church of Christ. The one church that claimed to be better than all the denominations. But that's a New Testament church. They don't even look at the Old Testament. And when they look at it, they just bringing it for a feel-good message. They'll go to Psalms and David and all of them. But the Old Testament church or the Old Testament is where the laws, statutes, and commandments are. So how you going to disregard that? 1 John 3 and 4. What does that say? 1 John 3 and 4.
Bring it out.
Book of 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
There it is. So how can the law be done away with? It can't be done away with.
Can't be done away with.
If you go against the law, you're committing sin. And we asking the question, why is all this happening to us this day? Why? Because a majority of us, and as the scriptures say, 2/3, they're not going to make it because why? They're committing sin. They're transgressing the law. So Israel, we got to get it together. All of you in the chat, you got to get it together. You got to bring this word out. All the brothers in the chat, all of the prospects, stay diligent in this word so you can bring it out.
That's right.
Because we need you to actually spread this word. Let's go back to see these tares. What's going to happen to them?
Hey,
Verse 29.
Shalaki, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I'm feeling your lesson, Aharan. I'm feeling your lesson. Hey, this has become like a shotgun scripture to me. Revelations 22 and 14.
Bring it
Blessed
out.
are they that do his commandments, that they may have rights to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. How can the law be done away with? How can the commandments be done away with? When the last book and the last chapter of the Bible is telling you, blessed are those who do the commandments.
That's
right.
Bring it out.
Right.
That's right.
Well, when you talk to them, Salaki, but when you talk to these Christians, man, you can bring out every precept and they'll just overlook it. They blow it off.
Hey, I got a precept for that too. Hey, I got a precept for that too. Salakia, Luke chapter 8 and verse 10. He said, and he said, unto you it is given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of God. But to the other in parables that seeing they may not see, and hearing they may not understand.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right. See, Israel, we have a responsibility, and we can stop the the wrong protest. Now let's do the right protest. The right protest is to proclaim to this world, to Israel, to our brethren, that we are the true people of the Most High. He has chosen us. We got our history, we got our heritage, and we're going to uphold his laws, statutes, and commandments as our ancestors, our forefathers, our recent ancestors didn't do. This is our moment. This is our moment to make the proper protest. This is what you see, all of the Akim and all of giving double honors to all the elders that's pushing this word. They go out in the highways and byways crying aloud. Isaiah 58 and 1. Crying aloud, showing our people their transgressions. That's what we have to do. We have to bring it out. We have to teach all of our brothers and sisters, those with the stonings in their hearts, those that are choked out by the thorns and the thistles. And let me tell you something. This was designed to be that way from the beginning. This was designed to be that way from the beginning with Adam and Eve.
Right.
Go to Genesis 3 and 18. Let's check it out. Genesis 3 and 18.
Bring it out,
Genesis 3 and 18. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face thou shalt eat bread till thou return unto the ground, for out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust thou shalt return. You see Adam, because what he did, this was ordained from the beginning for us to bring this word out. We have to do this. This is for Israel. We got to work with the sweat of our brow, tilling the ground, planting this seed for our people. So Israel, we got to do this, and we got to do it right. And guess what? The wheat and the tares are going to grow together. We shouldn't break down those the tares, pluck them out right now. Yeah, we can identify who they are and tell them to their face like we do. But we don't want to corrupt the good seed by just taking over right now, putting people to death right now.
Right.
We're going to preserve that good seed. Go back to Matthew chapter 13 and verse 29. Let's see what Yahweh shall say about this. He said, nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. And we know what the harvest is. That's going to be the judgment. That's the harvest time. He said, let them grow to the harvest. Why? He said, gather ye together first the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them. Those 2/3 of Israelites that don't want to hear this doctrine, don't want to hear this word, don't want to conform to the law, statutes, and commandments, guess where you're going to be at? Right there in that bundle with them tares.
Hey, Shalakia.
Go ahead.
Hey, the brother's bringing out a powerful lesson, okay? And he's showing you how amazing the Most High is with his parables, okay? and I'm gonna show you something. Okay, I hope there's some Christians that's like maybe borderline on the lesson, because the brothers bringing it out. He's edified the people real well. But if you have a spiritual eye, okay, how the brothers bringing out how we sow a seed and then we become the seed, and then you got the wheat and the tares growing up together. If you go to Matthew chapter 24, okay, Matthew chapter 24 and chapter 40, in verse 40, 24 and 40. If you have a spiritual eye, you will understand the scripture. It reads, "Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken and the other left." You see, the wheat is going to be taken and the tare is going to be left. Okay? If you see, a Christian is not going to understand this scripture, but understanding the parables and having the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High, and having teachers like this brother right here, okay, that can break this down, and edify the people, it makes this come to life. All right, so these parables are real, Israel. Listen to what the brother's bringing out. He's bringing out a very powerful lesson. Hey, go ahead, I'll come you.
Khan. Look at verse 39, and let's see what Yahweh Shai say about this enemy. Verse 39, he says, "The enemy that sowed them with is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels." The reapers are the angels. "As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world." So Yahweh is answering the parable. He's giving us the answers to all of what we're seeing to this day. We've had the brothers brought out a good lesson, a lot of videos, a lot of edifying videos. Now I'm giving you the antidote for that. This is what Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, they're giving you the antidote for it right here in this parable. This parable is the key in the underlying scripture that can help bring Israel out of this situation, so that we won't be crying over our brothers and sisters that getting a knee put on in their neck, or getting choked out by a chokehold, or getting shot between the eyes with a rubber bullet and it's still hanging inside your eye, in your forehead, getting beat down by the police where they split your head from one side to the other side. And not only that, with private citizen chasing a guy down while he's jogging and then shooting with a shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of mess is that? What? But we
like they going manhunting.
Exactly. That's exactly what we're doing. Just like Esau, we read in Genesis 27.
Let's go shoot this buck.
Esau is the hunter, and he's vowed in his mind, "I will kill you, Jacob."
And your women too. Don't forget the sister that got shot 8 times.
Exactly. I'm about to bring it home, Israel.
Excellent lesson, Adam.
Good.
All praises. 30. Verse 30. I'm gonna read the second half of it. It says, "Gather ye together first the tares and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn." See, this is the kingdom of heaven. Yahweh Shai saying, gather them into the barn. So I'm gonna end this right here, Israel, that we ask these questions over and over. We see the atrocities over and over, and they come in droves. You might have a year, 2 or 3 get killed, and then the next year, two or three more get killed. And what are the protests doing? What are those protests doing? Because we keep doing it over and over. We're going back to the protest. Then you get stores broken into and all this, and everybody's going looting. Then you got people coming back. I'm gonna tell you something, Israel. Esau is trying to stand near you doing this one because this one is serious. They see that we are fed up.
That's right.
They see we're fed up, and they want to be right with you.
That's because the word is coming out.
So I can
people waking up.
Exactly. Everybody's waking up to this truth. And it's like brothers like Manatazach, Aharan, Mayakaya, y'all were all Eliel, Aharan, Naquan, brothers, and all the brothers in the camp. Brother Kano, bringing out this word so good, and it's starting to wake everybody up, starting to wake us all up. Yaiquab, Malachiah, strong brothers in this truth, young brothers, bringing this truth out. Ain't afraid to stand on the streets and the highways, bringing it out with like a trumpet. Showing our people their transgressions. Showing our people their transgression. That's our job. And here you have a parable that you can self-check yourself with. Two parables that you can self-check yourself. Which soil am I? Which soil is in my head? Am I the wayside soil that when the seed hit me, which is the word, I hear this word out on the street, but then I go away. Now the fowls of the air come and take it up. Satan come and just snatch it up. Am I that soil in my mind that's stoned? I got things in my heart. I got hatred for my brother or my sister. I got things that's bothering me. I don't like what's going on. I'm more concerned with trying to assimilate with this culture, this wicked culture. That's what's forefront. Am I wanting this money? These stumbling blocks. Am I still in the church? And I say, oh, Jesus is love. Jesus loves everybody. Everybody's going to be saved. Do I have that in my mind, or do I have what thus says the Lord in these scriptures say? You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
Or am I that one that's being choked by the riches of this world? My concern with this money is so much? We got to think about that, Israel. Or am I that good soil? I'm going to listen to the brothers that bring this word out at camp. I'm going to participate at camp. I'm going to come to camp. I'm going to search the scriptures daily, looking for precepts. You're looking at two precept kings right now. Manatazach and Aharan, the precept kings.
There's some brothers out there got precepts for days. I'm humble and low.
All praise to the Most High.
All praise.
But I tell you, Israel, we got to straighten up, and we got to come to the truth, and we got to quit playing. Because if we don't quit playing, we're going to continue to see the degradation of our people for years to come.
Right.
We're going to continue to see it. So with that said, all praises. I forgot to mention my elder, Ikarab. I see you, Ikarab. Another strong brother in this truth that brings it out.
That's right.
We're going to bring it out. And we're going to stay committed to this. We're going to stay committed. We're going to bring this word out.
That's right.
That's right.
Put that brick.
I got a precept for one of the last things you said, man. Going after the gold and going after the things of this world. You know, a lot of these people are doing these protests to be seen by men. You know, on their Instagram, on their Facebook. You know what I'm saying? You know, Sirach chapter 9 in verse 11 and 12 says, "Envy not the glory of a sinner, for thou knowest not when shall be his end." You know, we might see somebody, it might look fun. You know what I'm saying? That other lifestyle, because we going hard in this truth and we know the truth. And now we're like, I wish I could do that. I wish I could ran up in the store and got me a Gucci belt. Man, you don't need that. You know what I'm saying? Verse 12 says, delight not in the things that the ungodly have pleasure in, but remember they shall not go unpunished unto their grave. See, that godly, the ungodly is not on that good soil, man. They don't have that. Their pleasure is on stony ground, like what you was bringing out. They got pleasure in that, you know. But they won't be unpunished. They're gonna be cast in the fire, like I don't want to bring it out at the end. You know what I'm saying? Like with the tears. Cash right away.
Con.
Hey, Salakia. Right when the spring started to hit, I took some grass seeds and I had patches in my yard from the snow and all of that stuff. We had really, really dry ground in some areas of the yard. So the dirt was really, really hard. And so I took a little shovel and I took one of those little hoes and I kind of tilled the ground and made the dirt soft in the areas where they had patches. And I threw grass seeds in those areas. And then there were some areas that I didn't mess with the ground whatsoever. It was the ground was it was so dry it was cracked. But I threw the seeds there anyway. And the ground that I softened, the seeds were able to take root and make grass in those areas. But the areas that I did not soften, the seeds, I don't even know what happened to the seeds. I guess the birds eventually came and ate them, but they never took root in that ground. It was too dry. It wasn't fertile. And that's kind of, and I watched that actually happen over the months. I kept watching to see what area the grass was going to grow and what areas the grass didn't grow. And the areas that I tilled the ground and softened the ground, the grass took root, the seeds took root. But in the areas that I didn't, the seeds did not take root, and they still patches there to this day.
Con. Real life situation.
That's real life.
Con.
So we have to soften we have to soften our hearts and humble ourselves. That's the thing, and that's how the word will take root.
There you go. That's right.
And that's how you will change. But if you remain hard in your heart, the word's not going to take root.
That's right.
That's right. Hey, the Most High harden your heart too.
Con.
Most High, man. He'll give you off to your own delusions, man. Harden your heart right on up. Close up your ears, close up your eyes. And he make you a reprobate. You fall right, become a reprobate. Man, you don't want that.
An excellent lesson, Adawan.
Yeah, the water for that. The water.
All praise to the
Lord. There, brother.
All praise.
We had Adawan Yakim Yah bring the lesson out today. We're gonna have him be the testimonial a different time. But we got Adawan Mayakaya up here. He's gonna give some of his testimony, about his life and hopefully be an inspiration to some of the brothers and sisters who's out there listening today.
I remember coming to camp.
Can y'all hear
and
me?
It was cold. The first time I came to SOT camp, it was cold. Oh my gosh, it was cold there. I think it was maybe 5 brothers standing out there. And Brother Micaiah, he was out there standing in that cold. And I think Adawan Joel was giving the lesson. And that was my first day at camp. And that was my first time meeting these brothers. And since that day, they've been my brothers.
That's right.
Hey, that's right. And, I really appreciate this brother, man. I mean, he got a really good spirit. He got the same spirit I do, but, I'm older, so I'm not as feisty.
But my line up. My line up.
That's right.
That's right.
My line up.
So we're gonna start with the first question right here. It says, where are you from, and give us a glimpse of your life growing up.
Okay, well, I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Just like a lot of brothers, I grew up in the curses. I grew up in the slums of Detroit. Didn't have much. My mother, she bounced us around a lot throughout the city. So I knew a lot of people because I lived throughout the whole city. I lived on the east side by Bewick and Mack. But the majority of my time as a youth, I lived on the west side of Detroit. The hugest part of my upbringing was on a street called the Finkel Ave. y'all know, the movie 8 Mile, so a lot of the streets in Detroit, they're named after that number, starting with 5 Mile, and 5 Mile is Finkel. Okay, so a lot of my roots come from, Finkel Ave off of Wyoming, and it was pretty rough. Okay, I grew up, loving to play sports. You know what I mean? I was in the world. I had the role model. Basketball players, football players. Looked up to the dope man in the hood. Because they had all of the women and the shine. You know what I'm saying? And the fly gear or whatever the case may be. So I was in them curses. You know what I'm saying? My father, he and my mother, they had some issues. My old man, most high rest his soul. He liked women. Okay, so my mother wasn't having it. So they split ways. And so I became an instant man per se. I had to step up to the plate. I was the second oldest in that household. I had a sister that was older than me, but I had to stick my chest out there and do some things that a little bit early in life. You know what I'm saying? So I rebelled a lot. Coming up. I was a kind of a quiet guy. I really wasn't the real wild type. I was kind of mild mannered, and I kind of blended in though, with the rebels. I actually was I didn't finish high school on time. I was a high school dropout, man. I got out. I left school in the 11th grade and ended up getting my act together when I was 19 years old. I ended up going getting my GED. Went to Job Corps up in Flint, Michigan, and learned a trade. I learned how to build things. I was a carpenter apprentice.
Wow.
Yeah. I started building houses and doing roofing, and that's when I started getting my so-called act together, But for the most part, my story ain't different, than a lot of men. I eventually ended up, going into the military though. When I called myself so much, getting on the so-called worldly righteous path. Okay, I spent a very long time in the military. Okay, and did those things until I come into the truth.
It's Salaki. Yeah, it's funny how we all take part in those curses. We share those curses, but everybody shares them in a different way. And because like all of our stories are similar. Like down to a T, but then there's maybe some minute differences in how we come up. But look, like we came to this point right here in our lives where the Most High revealed His truth to us.
That's right.
Hey, man, that's that above anything that I've done in my life is the best thing that ever happened to me.
Right.
I'm sure that's probably like that for everybody.
Hey, Shalakia, we were just talking. We just mentioned the curses, and this is not even my question, but now that you like what Manatazach just said, now that we came into the truth, we realize those curses is put on us for us to realize who we are, and that's an amazing thing, man. Because scriptures say, "Count it a joy when we go through." I'm gonna butcher this. When we go through these rough times, when we go through these trials and tribulations. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes those are part of the curses. Now that we see it with the right eyes, and we can actually see that we are the children of the Most High because we don't went through those curses.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's deep. We got to remember that moving forward, Israel. The next question that I have for you was, can you talk about any religious foundation that you might have had prior to coming to the truth?
God, I was just like many. You know, I grew up in the Baptist church. Knee high, they had me up in there. You know, had me up in there on the usher board, on the youth usher board. I used to sing in the choir. You know what I mean? You know, I used to say little speeches. You know what I mean, on so-called folly, on the folly days. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna tell y'all something about that though. One thing that was different about me that I noticed as a youngster versus my friends, you know, they used to always take the programs in the church and they would be drawing and they would be doodling or whatever, you know, and all of that. But I was always interested in what the preacher had to say. So I literally would sit there attentively and listen. I was interested and what they had to say. I really was. I would listen, you know.
Right.
And but I'm gonna tell y'all something though. What was different is that I would absorb what they said, all right. But come time Monday, I would forget everything that they said because it really wasn't important. You know, I started noticing, you know, when I got a little older, that the end of the sermon was the same. The end of the sermon was the same. It was always, especially for this one preacher, he always had this little spiel he used to do. He would say, God picked me up and turned me around, then he'll
Turn
come
me
around,
around.
set my feet on solid ground. He would do
Solid
that
ground.
after he got to breathing hard and all that. You know what I'm saying? And I start saying, man, this faker than Hulk Hogan, you know, flipping Andre the Giant and then cutting himself over the eye, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I can see you know, how fake it was. You know what I'm saying? At a very young age. And I'm gonna also tell you something else. I witnessed things early on that were disturbing in the church. I went to a church called New Light Baptist Church in Detroit. Okay, I think it's still standing. Okay, it used to be a web page there, but in this church in the early '90s or late '80s, early '90s, the pastor, the long-term pastor of the church, passed away. His name was Cornell E. Talley, and this guy was a prominent man, you know, in the black community. You know, I got pictures of him, you know, shaking hands with Dr. Martin Luther King and everything, right? But he passed away. Okay, so the church was on a trial to hire a new pastor. Okay, and I would see new pastors come in, and then some of the familiar faces that came up in the church who became ministers, you know, they would also, you know, do trial sermons. Okay, and so it came down to these two pastors, okay, or two preachers. One was a very young man. I think he was around 27 years old, and I thought he could preach, all right, because you know he was loud and he could sing and this, that, and the third. You know, that's the stereotype of a Baptist preacher, and he got to be able to sing, right?
You gotta be able to sing.
Gotta be able to sing, as they say, right? But also, you had another brother that was a little bit tenured. You know, he was an age man. He's about, you know, 50-ish, 40. He was in his late 40s, 50-ish, and he also could so-called preach. So they elected the older man over time. But this guy, after about 2 years of being the pastor of the church, he and the lead trustee. Okay, this guy was the lead trustee was a prominent figure in Detroit. He was some sort of politician. I think his name was Sheffield. Yeah, I'll call you out, you demon. I think his name was Sheffield. These two jokers collaborated together and stole over $65,000 from the church. Okay, just straight stole it, right? So, long story short, they did some research, okay, and found out that the church that this man came from in Dallas, Texas, okay, he did the same exact thing to that church. He robbed that church as well. And we ended up hiring this man, okay, without doing our research. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And a funny story behind that. one of his daughters ended up marrying somebody that I know. Okay, and you know, I felt kind of funny about it because I said, "Hey, her father's the devil. The devil, you know what I mean? That the Bible speaks." But anyway, I saw a lot of turmoil. They got the fist fighting in the church. They got the fist fighting in the church over that situation. The church was parted. You had the ones that were backing the preacher and they forgave the guy for stealing, and then you had the ones that wanted him out. They ended up splitting churches. The one congregation went and bought a building. Okay, my family left and went to the new building while a lot of the other church stayed there. So I saw a bunch of mess in there. You fist fighting, literally fist fighting in the church. Police coming up in there. Hey, it just wasn't right.
Wow. Lock it. Let me pull this back up. The phone locked up.
Why he figured them damn pastors though, bro?
Wicked.
Hey. Wicked, man. Wicked. That's all they're about is the paper.
That's right.
Hey, what was that TV show that they had with the pastors and they was flaunting their Bentleys? That came on a couple of years ago. Y'all see that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Man. They've exploited our people, man, with that false doctrine and that good feeling and prosperity doctrine. And a lot of our women are in those churches, man. There's a lot of women being misled by these pastors. From my understanding, because I mean, when I was going to church, when I was going to Christian church, there wasn't a lot of men in church. It was mostly women.
Right.
And I was like, where are our brothers at? Brothers just slowly disappearing from the church.
It's like it's like it. I could tell you what Aharan Ma'ikaya just said. The exact same thing happened to the church I left. After I left, it happened after I left. I heard about it. The pastor was taking the money, and half the church went with him, and the other half went somewhere else. And it was crazy. I said, I'm glad I left. That's when I first came in the truth back in 2018. So that exact same thing happened. I tell you, Ma'ikaya, we was on the front lines.
And brother just took the words out of my mouth. That's my line out right there. We share so many similarities, and we'll get to telling stories, and he'll be like, "Hey, that happened to me too," or "I'm going through the same thing." So that's my brother. I talk to him every day. Okay, he keeps me up. I try to do the same with him. And thank the Most High for that, brother.
Same here.
You know that happens all over the world, though, man.
God.
And I see a lot of our people who are subject to that. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Manatazach, you ready?
Okay. Can you talk about your prior military experience and how coming into the truth affected that?
Well, I spent a lot of time. Okay, a lot of time in the service. I'm not going to go too deep into it. Okay, but I'm gonna be with y'all. Okay, I was into that thing. Okay, I was really into it. You know, I never planned to go in and be a career, what they call a career, soldier. But you know, I got in there. You know, I start getting those gifts. You know, those gifts start destroying my heart, meaning promotion. You know, I started making more money. You know, I started, people in the world, particularly people from the other nations, okay, and people who weren't necessarily, how can I put it, our people who weren't necessarily in tune with our people. They put people in the service, okay, up on a pedestal. You know, they consider you to be like a hero, okay? And if I'm gonna tell you something, if you're not deeply rooted in this word, it'll catch you up, because I know I became proud. I became proud, Akim. You know what I'm saying? And I literally didn't see certain things, okay, the way I see them now. That was going on with my people, and I'm from the gutter. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking that you know, this right here is the, you know, American dream. You know what I'm saying? And so, but the truth came in, you know, shook me. You know, the Most High is a quickening spirit. You know what I mean? This word is quickening, shook me. You know, and you know, got me.
Opens your eyes to a lot of things too.
Say that again.
I said opens your eyes because I became a Christian in the military when I served, and becoming a Christian when I lived in Germany at the time. So it really opened my eyes up to a lot of things that it opened me up to the truth, but I wasn't yet in the truth. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Right. I feel you, you know, but I literally came into the truth, you know what I mean, in this thing. And I tell you, it straightens you up, but you become a serious eyeball. Okay.
Yes.
There's a lot of people who got the same testimony. I'm telling you, but what we need to understand though in Israel is that the Most High, man's goings are of the Lord. So our trials are different, as the brother Manatazach just said. Our trials are different. You know, I don't want to get too deep, but you never know why the Most High put you in this type of situation. Okay?
Yes.
I don't want to start talking about our afterlife. I don't want to start talking about that. I don't want to start talking about what happened beforehand. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to lose anybody. But you never know, you know, what caused the Most High to put you in a situation that you're in. But I just pray to the Most High that he continues, you know, to work on me. You know, where I am now, I'm in such a better place, you know, and I ain't dwelling with them dry bones no more. You know, he's doing things in my life right now that I'm truly proud of, and I thank him for.
All praises.
All praises to the Most High.
Oh, praises, man. Most High will definitely direct your steps, man, and your path, man. If you believe in it, open up your eyes. Hey, what's that scripture I don't like to bring up? He take you out of the dunghill, set you among princes.
Right.
Right. Hey, man, Most High is awesome. So I can find out what we was at again. Yeah. So, when and how did you come into the knowledge of the truth?
All right, so it's kind of a choppy story, right? So the first time I heard his name, okay, I was actually dealing with this sister. Okay, I was wicked. I was in the world. I was dealing with this sister, and religion had came up, right? So I'm telling this sister, you know what I believe, you know, which is Christianity. But I'm telling her I left the church. I don't really deal with it no more. But I do believe in God. I believe in God. You know, I had a zeal, but not according to knowledge. You know, but the sister tells me when I said Jesus, you know, and God, she says, well, that's not his name. That's what she said. Okay, so she tells me, you know, that she believes that the name is Yahweh and Yahweh Shah. Okay, and that resonated with me. I noticed that the sister was very careful and not to teach me, okay, or try to teach me anything else. You know what I mean? Although I wanted to know more, she was very careful. So that's how I learned the name. Okay, when I heard the name Yahweh, it resonated with me. It stayed right there in my head. Okay, I didn't search right then, but it just stayed there. All right. I was overseas and I was watching YouTube. I can't remember what it was, but I came across, I'm not going to name the camp, but I came across a video. All right. And I see these brothers, you know, these brothers is dressed all, you know, royal. All right. Whatever the case may be. And they bringing out this word. And these brothers is telling me that if my father, okay, and his father's father, and you know what I mean? So if my seed go back, you know, to you know, a so-called, you know, man that came off the slave ship, or a Native American of Negro or indigenous descent or Hispanic, that I'm an Israelite, you know, and they start, you know, breaking down how, we are, God's chosen people. And I'm telling you, when these brothers went to Deuteronomy 7:6, I love Deuteronomy 7:6. When they went to Deuteronomy 7:6, and the brothers start breaking down the curses in Deuteronomy 28, I was sold, man. Like
That's right.
I wasn't like Jake, and I'm not trying to be proud. I wasn't like Jake that we talked to on the streets. You know what I mean? That's got a hard ear. I always knew there was something wrong, man. I used to tell people that I was close to. I don't know what the Most High has in store for me, but He got something for me. Like I said, I'm not gonna dive deep into certain things that I went through in the military or whatever. But I went through a lot of things in life. I was a premature child. I was only a couple of pounds when I was born. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Encountered a lot of stuff. And then there were times in my military venture where I shouldn't be here right now. That's what I say. Okay. I mean, I shouldn't be here right now. Okay. But the Most High, He kept me preserved. He kept me preserved for a reason, and I believe it's to do His work. That's what I mean. I never call myself or claim to be one of the elect. Okay, but I'm gonna do this work right now. I'm gonna do it while He's giving me the wisdom and knowledge and understanding to do it. Okay, and I just pray that He gives me the strength to endure to the end.
That's right.
That's right.
And that's part of all of our prayers, man. That need to be part of all of Israel prayers. If you believe, man, I should be part of your prayers.
God.
That's what we want.
I got any more questions?
Yeah, I'm not desired.
Oh, okay.
After coming into the knowledge of the truth, how was your experience dealing with your family and friends?
That's an interesting question. Okay, so once again, I'm not going to get too detailed. Okay, but I'm gonna tell y'all what. Okay, when the Most High said that He came to bring division. Okay, I literally experienced that. Firsthand. Okay, I mean it. Like literally. Once again, not knowing what path. Okay, the reason why the Most High put you on that path is mind-boggling. But I literally experienced a lot of family separation. A lot of my family, they believe I'm in a cult. They don't want to hear the truth. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I know my Adawan, Yahweh, he told me, because I used to speak to him about these things. My Adawan Yahweh, he told me, hey, look, you can't just be, diving in there, just trying to teach, these people these things without knowing the doctrine yourself. And that's what I tried to do. I tried to take things, by force, and it didn't work. It really didn't work, and although I kind of slowed down. I slowed down my approach. I began to study a little bit more. It still didn't resonate with a lot of people. But
Hey, Shalakia, Adawan.
Go ahead there.
Shalakia. Does anybody hear echo?
A little bit.
Oh yeah, Adawan. Just pointed that out. I don't know. All right, Shalakia. I guess we just keep going.
Time. Hopefully they can hear though. But anyway, yeah, I had some very close family members turn sideways and turn sour toward me, and some things happened. There were certain arguments, and there was a bit of somewhat altercations that happened to people who are very important to me. But I had to accept that. Okay, I literally had to accept that you brothers, brother Aharan, brother Manatazach, brother Yakumya, brother Anaya, brother Aharan, Brother Yaikwa, Brother Malakaya, my Adawans, starting with my Adawan Ikarab, and my Adawan Naikwam, and Adawan Eliel, Adawan Kano, and Adawan Yawa'al. If I missed anybody, I apologize. But those are my family. And anybody who is in this truth, okay, that is diligently doing the work, who is seeking the Most High, keeping His law, statutes, and commandments, and trying to, and has faith that the Most High is going to redeem us. Okay, those are my family. I had to realize that. Okay, and it may sound like that a brother has a cold heart, but I'm trying to be like Yahweh Shai, and Yahweh Shai was a very austere man. He wasn't just austere in his presence; he was austere, okay, in his mind, okay, and it's very hard to get there because we're in fleshly bodies. But hey, I'm telling you, Aharan, that question that you just asked, man, it's very difficult for me, but it is what it is. I'd rather take the kingdom, okay? I'd rather take the kingdom than fall and have a happy life here, okay, on this earth.
Con.
I'm right there with you.
Con.
What's your most inspiring precept, and what prophet, if any, do you either identify with, or do you really in tune with?
That's a hard one.
Mighty Joab.
This is the brother say. The brother say, Joab. Hey, that's.
I mean, any character in the scriptures, they don't have to be a
I'll be
prophet.
honest with you. So Malachi 2:7. All right, Malachi 2:7 sits high. Okay, and that's
We want to read that.
should keep. You want to go there? Malachi 2:7. That sits very high with me.
The book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth.
That's right.
For he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts.
I resonate with that scripture because, like my brother Yahya here, we always talk about this. I have a vendetta. I have a personal vendetta with the Christian church. I have a personal vendetta with the Christian pastors, because they lie to our people constantly, okay, on a day-to-day basis, okay. And I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of these jokers know the truth. They know the truth. They know who we are, but a gift has destroyed their heart. They're receiving all of these riches. All right, damn Creflo Dollar, he flying in doggone jets. I believe the brother knows who we are, but they don't want to give up their position, okay, and they don't want to be in servitude to anybody else. I would say they don't want to be in servitude to the Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. They want to be on their pedestal, okay, and they want to receive all those riches, okay, and the prosperity and the fame and the spotlight, versus humbling themselves down, okay, coming like babes to this truth. They've been sitting. Imagine this. Imagine Creflo Dollar having so much humility, okay, that he steps down off his pulpit and he comes to 5 points, okay, and says, "Brother Yahweh, teach me." Imagine how much humility that would take. But I'm gonna tell you something. The Most High will have so much favor on that man.
Yeah, kind of.
But he can't let his pride, okay, and it's for all them damn Christian pastors. They can't let their pride slide. They can't do it.
That's right.
It's too important to them. Okay, so that's why I love that precept Malachi 2:7, because the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law of his mouth. That's what the men who are on the street corners, all right, teaching these words on the highways and byways, pushing this word. That's what they're doing. Okay, that's what they're doing.
That's right.
This is how we got to live.
That's right.
Right.
Bring that out.
Yeah,
character or the prophet. Anybody that you kind of
I got a lot of them, man. I got a lot of them. I like Ezekiel, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to sound proud, man. Okay, I really don't want to sound proud. Adawan probably gonna get on me about this, man.
He about to sound proud.
He gonna get on me about it. So there was a point in time, I'm not gonna tell you when, where our leadership, they were like, look, y'all got to come up with some Hebrew names, okay? And brothers didn't have no Hebrew names, right? So normally a brother, you know, of higher stature will give you a Hebrew name, okay? So nobody gave me one. So I start thinking about accounts I had read in the Bible. And the prophet Micaiah, okay? The prophet Micaiah and was the Second Chronicles. Okay, that brother was a cold brother. Okay, you ever get a chance, read the account of the prophet Micaiah in Second Chronicles. Okay, so long story short, this brother, you know, the king was getting ready to go to battle, but he didn't really know his fate. He didn't know whether or not he should take his men up against this mighty force. So all of the prophets, okay, were nowhere to be found. All right, so one of his, I think it was a wizard. The wizard was saying, "Hey, look, there is one, okay, that we can speak to." But the king said, "I don't want to speak to him because every time I speak to Micaiah, Micaiah always tells me the truth, okay, and he always tells me how I'm gonna fall, okay." So it was the only option. So he went to go speak to Micaiah, and Micaiah told him, "Hey, look, okay, if you go into battle, you're gonna die, okay, you're gonna fall." Okay, and he also gives a pristine prophecy. I'm not going to give it away. I want guys to go back and read it. But the king got mad that Micaiah told him the truth. Okay, and he locked Micaiah away. And Micaiah, his name, I remember that Adawan, we were on the phone, we were talking about. Said, "Yeah, I want Micaiah as my name." Okay, he said, "Well, what does it mean?" And I didn't know. I just liked this character, right? So we went to the Hebrew, all right, and Adawan, y'all were all we on the call together, and we found out what his name means. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I didn't want to take the name, okay. I after learning what it meant, okay. But the name Micaiah means one like Yahweh. That's what it means, one like Yahweh. And once I read that, I said, "Nah, we changed it, okay." Because I'm not worthy of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be proud, but the
Man of war.
the Adawan said, "No, the Most High gave you that name. You're gonna keep it." So I kept it. But
hey, but
Micaiah is he's one of them men I look at.
That's what we strive to be, though, right? We strive to be like Yahweh.
That's like Yahweh, yeah.
Yahweh is the image of Yahweh. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So we strive to be like that, man.
That's that humble spirit.
I think that's in the spirit, man.
That's right.
All in the spirit.
You recently became a captain of SOTI. What are some of the differences or responsibilities now that you have been elevated in your new position?
So I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The experiences they've been great, but I definitely had good mentorship and good guidance and good examples to follow, starting with my Adawan Ikarab. My Adawan Ikarab, you know, that's my captain. And I came into him as a soldier. It's kind of different when myself, Manatazach, and Yakum Yah came about. Okay, hey, don't let that gray shirt fool you on Yakum Yah. Hey, don't let that fool you. Okay, hey, that brother, he's tenured. Okay, and he'll be wearing a black shirt soon. But anyway.
Oh, Khan,
we didn't have the same process as the rest of the brothers. Okay, so I came under Adawan Ikarab as a soldier. Okay, and the brother has he's shown me, you know, a lot of leadership, you know, tactics. Okay, and he's a very Adawan Ikarab looked like he tough. Okay, and he is tough. You know what I mean on the outside, but the brother got a very very humble and genuine spirit. Okay.
Yeah, you do.
And
Yeah, you do.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. When it comes to like these prospects, and some of the soldiers, he's very creative. He has a way of making things interesting. Okay, for the prospects and the soldiers. So his example, okay, it makes you want to continue to do this thing. He challenges you as well. He really challenges us. Those that are under Adawan Ichabod, they'll tell you. I'm not trying to knock any other captains in the camp, but he really challenges us. Also, I can say the same. Adawan Naquan. Adawan Naquan, the brother is a very solid example. Okay, for me when it comes to family structure. Okay, I love that brother's family structure. He'll tell you that. Okay, his family structure is beautiful. It exists, Israel. It really does. Happiness exists. Okay, and that brother, he's been an example to me on how I want my family structure to be. When it comes to Adawan Eliel, that's our history buff. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm 41. I'm getting ready to be 42. That man like 22, 23 years old, full of wisdom. Okay, full of wisdom. Okay, knowledge and understanding. He's full of fire too. Don't mess with him. Okay. Don't get too close. It'll burn. But the brother's knowledge and his understanding of history has educated me. Okay, and helped me come along in my growth. Far beyond what I thought. Will be the case right now. Looking back a couple of years. Adawan Kano, very, very humble spirit. Okay, on this. This is our Levite, Adawan Kano. And he's straight, direct to the point. Tells you like it is. Okay, epitome of austere. Okay, but once again, he knows how to manage situations. Properly. You know what I mean? I've been here a long time, but you can't treat everybody the same. That's a lie. You can't treat everybody the same because everybody has different demeanors. Everybody has different upbringing. Everybody, you know what I mean? They don't necessarily understand things and react the same. So I like the way my Adawan handles certain situations. He's a very strong pillar in SOT. But Adawan Yahweh, that's my teacher. Okay, it's my teacher. I come into this truth. I was watching brothers. Okay, and when I came across HOI, back when he was in HOI, I said, man, this brother right here, this brother, I don't know what spirit this brother was, back in that day. Okay, but that brother, he has a way of bringing out this word. You know what I'm saying? And it really captures the people, and he has a very humble spirit. Okay, and he teaches us all, okay, to be humble. One of the things he told me when I became a soldier, he told me, look, he said, Micaiah, I was teaching my second class, I think, and I called him to review the class. He said, whenever you think you got it figured out, he said, you're going off. Okay? Always stay humble, okay? And I thank that brother for everything that he's taught me and taught us. So I have very good leadership structure, all right, guidance, the experiences. I'm gonna tell y'all what I realized as a captain, okay, is that Israel is on my back. I was telling Brother Yakim Yadis, Israel is on my back. We can't waver, okay, and we can't falter in this thing. We have to stay steady. Okay, we have to stay in the scriptures. We have to keep the Most High first. Okay, we have to be a walking example. Okay, so this is greater than any challenge, okay, that I've ever had. Okay, because I'm not trying to have any blood on my hands. You know what I mean? So it's a very, very difficult. It's a very challenging task, but I'm up for it. All praises to Yahweh.
Yo, hey, I must testify that every one of those Adawans, their qualities, you hit them right on the head.
Right.
Like you hit their qualities right on the head.
Right.
You know, I must say, like me being around y'all, the kind of upper echelon and the elders. One thing that I've been learning is to judge matters better. You know what I'm saying? I've been pushing that, and I think I've been trying to look at how to judge things a little better. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I've been learning from it too. I think we got one last question for you. Is there anything would you like to say on this? Use this platform, you know what I'm saying, to talk to Yasharala, to talk to Israel.
Hey, go to Malachi 4:1. Malachi 4:1. I mean, this ain't no joke. You know what I mean? That's what I got to say. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Okay. I can hear the choppiness on my end. I think it's me.
Yeah, I think it is. But I'll read for you the book of Malachi, chapter 4, verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble.
That's right. All right.
And the day.
Go ahead, Al. Read.
And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
That's right. Go to Psalms 21 and 9. Hey, understand this, okay? Hey, the Most High is going to come like a thief in the night, and he's coming with fire. And what you need to understand is that what brothers is pushing out here in the highways and byways on this social media platform, okay, that Esau and the other nations glorify, okay, but we're taking advantage of this, okay. The words that we speak to you in the prophecy, okay, that has been revealed is true and it's coming. If you don't get hip, okay, to these laws, statutes, and commandments, and start keeping faith in the Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, you're going to die. And you're going to die a gruesome death. I'm going to be there shaking, okay, in my bones, you know, Most High willing, okay, if I make it, okay, if he makes me a part of that number. But I'm not going to have no sympathy, okay? None for you. Go ahead, Al.
Book of Psalms, chapter 21 and verse 9. Thou shalt make them as a fiery oven the time of thine anger.
That's right. Read.
The Lord shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them.
It's going to be quick. He said this thing's going to be over with in an hour. Okay?
Right.
All right? It's going to be over with in an hour. We ain't got time to play. It's time to turn back, okay, from your wicked ways there, Jake. Okay? Start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. All right? The brother brought out an excellent lesson. The brother Yakum Yah brought out an excellent lesson. Take heed to the lesson. Take heed to these words, okay? And start waking up. Start sowing them seeds, okay? Start growing in this thing, and you become that seed like the brother just said. You know what I mean? So we can wake up this nation and get the hell up out of here.
That's right.
All right? It's not no joke. That's what I got. It's not a joke. Hey, all praises to Yahweh Bahashim Hamashiach Yahweh.
Praises to the Most High.
All praises.
I got a precept for you, Adawan. We bring this out sometimes. The book of Sirach, chapter 5 and verse 7. Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance.
Con.
Man, don't tarry, man. Don't wait.
Don't tarry.
That's right. Got no time to wait.
That's right. Hey, the water for coming on the show, man. The water to the Most High, man, for allowing y'all to come and putting his words in y'all mouth, man. I really appreciate the Most High and y'all. you know, for being an inspiration to the brothers and sisters, man. For me personally, for all the brothers in the camp, you know, y'all elders, both austere brothers, you know. Majority of us, we look up to y'all brothers, you know what I mean? We appreciate you.
The water
That's
for
right.
having me on the water for having me on the show. Manatazach and Aharan. You know, we do that work. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. The water.
Water. I am the bar, Adawan. Salakia. I know we showed a lot of grim video today, but I got a little, you know, I like to dwell on the kingdom. And it may not show, but back in the day when I was in the military, man, I used to be a dancer. We used to be in a group called, we had a rap group called Coalition Posse. Hey, man, I used to travel Germany and dance, man. I used to have my hammer pants on. Hey, you know, that's how we used to do. But hey, man, I saw some young brothers, man, that inspired me. Hey, man, this is what it's gonna be like when we get to the kingdom. Y'all check this out, man. I wanted to share this with y'all. Check this out. Y'all it's gonna make you smile now. Uh-oh, it's flashing. Let's play it up. Hey, that's my client. That's us dancing in the kingdom, man.
I look like a riot in the front. Hey, we gonna be dancing. We going to the kingdom, right?
Hey, y'all, y'all.
What?
I can't even hear you, Iron.
Hey, man, that's how we gonna be dancing in the kingdom, bro. Every day.
Hey, Manatazach and Yakum, y'all, they got to be in their spiritual bodies to hit them moves there.
Hey, you know that's right.
Hey, Salakia. Back in the day, I used to do a meme, Michael Jackson. Now,
hey, tell him.
Yo, I can see you pop locking back in the day.
Hey, man, I used to break dance and all of that.
I can see that.
Hey, we were the forerunners, man. We brought it in. Hey, man. Hey, y'all. We brought popping and locking and break dancing in.
Yeah.
All the way into the kingdom. All the way into the kingdom. That's right.
Hey, we gonna bring it back.
Hey,
dancing like David out there.
Hey, the Adawan rebuking us, man.
Yeah, I see that.
He said, "What is going on?"
Oh.
Hey, I love y'all.
We're gonna close it out.
I love y'all, brother. Oh, we gotta grab our scriptures.
Con. Gotta bring them out.
Go get mine. I'll read my first film. Isaiah 61:1. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord has anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek.
That's right.
He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prisons to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord and the day of vengeance of our God, to comfort all that mourn. I love that scripture.
And we're gonna bring out the Sons of Thunder credo. It's Romans 10:1. Brethren, it's our heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved.
That's right.
And we pray that all Israel be saved.
God.
And with that, we say Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahweh Shabbarakatah. Thank you for joining us on another TNT Thursday. Join us next week on TNT Thursday. And you all, brothers and sisters, have a blessed evening, a blessed night, and a blessed week.
Hey, Shalakia. Tomorrow, who's doing class tomorrow? Friday night.
Let me look at the calendar.
Aharan. That's coming from Ike Rob's team.
Okay.
Few brothers. It's Aharan.
Okay, that's a strong brother. Hey, tune in to his class tomorrow night, Friday evening. You know, as always, we're gonna be out there at Woodruff Park, 3 o'clock in Atlanta.
That's right.
Pushing the word. You know, I don't want Eliel got Milk Mondays every Monday evening. Tune into that. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the Patreon. You know, we got videos. We got pictures up there. We got a podcast that you can listen to. Some more good information coming out of SOT. We just trying to put that brick in for the Most High, man. So if it's in your spirit, you know, check us out. Trying to push that word.
Salakia, that's going to be Aharan and Brother Barnabas. They both going to be bringing up the class together.
Right.
All praises. All praises.
All praises.
Shalom, Israel. Shalom, Yashala.
Shalom.
Shalom.
How about
y'all still on the thing? I'm going to stop the end broadcast right there.
Y'all, Hashem, y'all, Shabbat.